That's what the show really is about. It's about sharing our own personal experiences, our perspective, and just doing that in a longer format, not in 240 characters, not in a 30-minute or a 5-minute conversation on the news, where you really do get to feel like not only you're not alone in some regard with how you're feeling or what you're going through, or your experience, but you're also learning from somebody who may be more experienced than you in different avenues, whether it's video gaming, talking with people online, or, for me, it's like being a woman on the internet. I'm not very experienced at that. So I'm very excited to have RottenPapi on. You guys, I know, have been messaging me on Twitter. Megals, thank you so much for all your support. Seriously, the fact that you were so excited yesterday and you showed up. You're like one of the first people in the chat. And then there's even like a string of Etwert. He was here a full 30 minutes early asking if we could start already. And he was just like, he did crying emotes at about minute intervals, it looks like. So yeah, I'm super excited to get started. And as far as like, voila! Oh wait, voila!
Hi!
Thank you, first of all, for let me just say thank you for not only being on the show, but you were one of the few people who reached out to me after I had put out that tweet for doing this. So I'm very excited that you were not only stoked to do the show, but you were proactive and being like, hey, you mentioned this, I want to do that.
Yeah, I really like your stuff. I know I don't come by all the time, but I really do like what I have been able to catch, and so I don't know. I've been trying to be more proactive lately, so I was like, I'll just message him about it.
Well, I appreciate it. So before we get into introductions and stuff, well, actually, no, that's the first thing we should do. Poppy, go ahead and introduce yourself for everybody who may not be familiar or seeing you for the first time.
Hi guys. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is RottenPapi. I am a retro and classic streamer here on Twitch. I am kind of, a little bit odd, but that's just who I am.
Heck yeah.
A little awkward.
But that's just who I am. Love me. It works. No, thank you again for coming on the show. I totally forgot to go over this as well. If you guys have a question and it's not something that or you think it's something that we're gonna miss based on like how we're talking or whatever, if you don't want your question missed, do !Q and then a note, and then we can answer those questions at the very end too. But welcome in, everybody. Poppy, tell me about your past week. How has that been for you? Anything super cool?
It's been a really good week. Actually, I've been busy. I stream full time on Twitch. For those of you who don't know, that's my job. So my week is usually very dependent on how I feel like I'm doing on Twitch. Mm-hmm. So I feel like today it's been really nice. Twitter and everything, social media has been doing good for me, and I've just been very productive. It's a new year, and I've been setting goals this year by quarters. So it was like New Year all over again. It was like quarter year resolutions. So I've been pretty stoked.
That's awesome. We can you're always really good at Twitter. I don't know. I just feel like you got it. Like you're kind of figuring it out at the same time, but I've been seeing you also like just doing really well. The last post you had was so fucking topical, especially when we had like our intro conversation or whatever.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I do a lot of social media research. So I think I finally kind of started being able to narrow down what you're supposed to do, I suppose. So I really appreciate that people have been liking it. Oh, I shouldn't touch my face.
I do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm always touching it. I remember actually one time my friends made fun of me because we were ordering food.
Yeah.
And I was like, can I get 3? And I went like this. Can I get 3? And then I can't remember what the fuck I ordered, but
I do this.
It was really weird.
I do the same thing. Like anytime somebody's like, especially with food, like I'll be standing in line and I'll be like, Like, I think I got it from cartoons growing up.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of cartoons growing up, and I think it turned me into a cartoon.
I would agree. I think it greatly affects like how we work as people, because people who've watched a lot of cartoons I know are like are animated even more, and they even have like things that they copy, like that face pat thing. I'm fairly certain it was from like either Adventure Time or yeah, I feel like Adventure Time and regular show were like those two shows that really resonated with me in my era of growing up. And so I imitated them in a lot of ways, I guess. But it could have been before that.
I feel like it's a very cartoon, like anime,
Yeah.
any really Cartoon Network cartoons also. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Because I mean, it could have been Adventure Time for me, but I was still pretty animated before then. I would try to stifle it, but it would come out in bursts. It's not, it's not really easy thing to stifle.
I agree. It's a habit that you slowly build over time, and then eventually it's just like part of your personality. Because I do that when I'm excited, and like, I don't know, depending on how many fingers, like all my fingers is like, ooh, like this is gonna change my life. Like one finger is like, like I don't know if I want to do that or not. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I don't know. It's just I like being animated, and I think if you can doing it almost too much is like an easy read as well. Like Steve, geez, you fucking excited, dude? Like well, clearly, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did have like a little bit of an agenda today, folks. We're not just gonna like bullshit and talk about cartoons the whole time, even though that might happen like in tangents. So a lot of the stories that I've heard on your channel in particular, and like how you got into gaming, was you playing games with your brother playing, and then you also mentioned you had a friend Hannah that like was like almost like you, just in a different timeline. Like she liked watching games, and then so you were playing for her and imitating your brother. So I wanted you to like kind of share how important that was to you, because obviously it's this thing that stuck with you your entire life, so much so that you decided that you're going to go full time and try to do this streaming thing like on the internet and personify that as much as possible. So like go ahead, like talk about it.
Okay, so basically, okay, so let me say, okay, so when I was a kid, I watched my brother play video games. Like I think a lot of people who have older brothers that play video games watch them. And he wouldn't, you know, I feel like he was like the best big brother. Like he wanted me to have like a really good time all the time. Like he loved me so much. You know, some older siblings really want to like beat up their little sibling or just kind of like dismiss them, but he was very concerned about making sure I was having fun and like being really involved, even though we're 7 years in age difference. So when he was playing video games and I wanted to watch, he would do voices. He would make it theatrical. He'd be making jokes the whole time. Like it was so fun, and I was very much like I still kind of am. I like being in the center of attention, so I wanted to be him in that role, but I couldn't ever have it where I was playing video games and he was watching, right?
Right.
So I enjoyed that a lot, but then again, because he was 7 years older than me, our age gap kind of started getting wider, and that time we couldn't really do that all the time.
Yeah.
So there was Hannah, which I told you about, but there's also my cousin. I have a little cousin, Reagan, who also liked to watch me play video games. So because I was so invested in this idea of like having someone watch me play video games like my brother, I started talking to myself while I was playing video games. Nice. Like someone was watching, and like out loud, and my family made fun of me. They thought I was being ridiculous.
That's funny though.
And I was. At the time it was absolutely ridiculous, but I would do it as if someone was watching me, and I don't know, it was fun for me. And then my little cousin Reagan, I started kind of like getting him to watch me play video games. I'd put on Paper Mario and then do what my brother did and just emulate it for him. But he loved it.
Yeah.
And he loved it a lot. He came actually in October for his birthday, and he was gushing about the whole experience. He started up a YouTube channel, and he played some of the games that I played like in front of him when he was a kid, and he went off about the experience the whole time, and I watched those videos and it was so sweet. And then I
Oh,
had my
that's
friend
awesome.
Hannah.
Wait,
who
hold
was
on.
my
Can we
next door
pump the
neighbor.
brakes for a second, really quick,
Yes.
before we get into Hannah? You said he made a YouTube channel and he referenced like those past fond memories with you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like the whole playthrough, he would be like, "Oh, I remember when my cousin did this, and that was really good." And he would talk about it. He did 2 playthroughs of 2 different games that I played in front of him when he was a kid.
That's adorable. Is he still doing
Yeah.
the YouTube thing?
Yeah, he is. I think kind of in spurts.
Okay.
He doesn't do it all the time. He's been pretty busy with work lately.
Okay.
But yeah, he likes just recording his whole playthroughs. He comes to the stream sometimes too. He had specific requests for a while because then I played those games on stream for him
Yeah.
for his birthday.
Oh, that's cool. You're
Yeah.
fucking cool cousin, man. That's awesome.
Oh,
I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and talk about Hannah.
Yeah, okay. Well, Reagan could only come over in the summers because he actually lives a couple provinces over. So in the
so
summers,
he
would
was
stay.
so he was like, this was like a fucking treat. Like he was so stoked to see his cousin play games.
Yeah, I guess so. It was really, really fun for him. He would come over in the summers and he would stay the whole summer. And he would get to, sleep over. It was like a big slumber party and I would play games. And once he started getting a bit older, we started playing some games together. Like we would play Sims and we
Oh my
played
God.
Halo. Halo like isn't my game, but he convinced me to play some Halo with him. So I think we did Halo 1 and 2. We played the whole thing together.
That's badass.
Yeah, and then Sims on Xbox had multiplayer, so we would play Sims on the Xbox on multiplayer mode. It would just split the screen
What?
diagonally.
Original Xbox, you mean?
Yeah,
Oh wow. Oh my God, that was Sims 2. I think I remember that.
yeah. It
That's
was
so
called, I
cool.
think-
Now that I'm
it's
thinking about it too, like you're triggering like there's synapses in my brain going off. there's a memory unlocking itself right now, and it was when so like I had an uncle who I got very close with and unfortunately passed away a long time ago, but he was my favorite uncle for one because he didn't have like the curfew rule for sleeping or playing games, and when I would sleep over at his house for the weekend because my mom and dad were working or something, my cousin Jenny had a Super Nintendo and way more games than I ever had ever, and also different games than me. So like she showed me how to play Kirby and like all this other stuff, and I haven't really thought about that in a long time, but that's a really good memory that I have. Thank you.
Aw. Aw, you don't have to thank me.
Yeah.
That's cute.
No, that's it's something I don't really like. I don't know. It's something that I know it's there. I don't know. I don't access that. But thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
Damn.
no problem.
But go ahead. Continue.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Hannah.
So Reagan would do that in the summers, but Hannah she lived across the street. So I met her when she was 3 and I was 6. And we didn't really start hanging out till I was 9 and she was 6. And then she would come over to my house all the time and I was still addicted to those games. So then I did the same thing. I would basically be like, "Hey, I'm playing this game. Do you want to watch?" And she would be like, "Yeah." So we would play games together. But she would just watch, and she didn't even want to play. Like with Reagan, he would try to find he would want to do the multiplayer stuff, and she didn't. She felt like she wasn't good at games. She still plays some games now, but even if I found something 2-player and I'd be like, "Ooh, like I found a 2-player game, like this finally she can play with me. I bet you she's excited."
Yeah.
She would play for like 5 minutes and then be like, "You know what? I just want to watch."
That's cool.
And yeah, I always felt like maybe I like made her feel like she was bad at games or something, or like I don't know, it was like really kind of imposing that on her. But even now,
Right.
I talked to her recently and she was just like going on about how wonderful those memories were for her and how much of a good time she had. And I don't know, it really shaped my sense of self, kind of like having that with my brother and then having 2 people that I was able to kind of pass those memories on to, those
Yeah.
same fond memories that my brother gave me. So then it became, I don't know, it just became a big part of my personality. Like I just wanted that always.
Yeah.
And I couldn't always have that because when I got older, I didn't really have like little friends that I could have watch me play video games, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Specifically the little friends. Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
it was just a funny phrase. Like, I wish I had my little friends still to hang out with me. But like, that's
My
how.
little
So,
friends.
Christina is in the chat right now, and she's my sister, Lil's Nina, and
Aw.
so that was like our childhood. Was she would watch me play games and for a long time, and even now, like we live in the same apartment complex area, and she'll like text me like, "Hey, do you want to play games?" I'm like, "Yeah," and then I'll play games, and she'll just watch or whatever, and yeah, no, super cool. That's great. So you had like an ability to pass on like what your brother had done for you, and that kindness he sort of like did as a role model for you really stuck with you, and you adopted that personality trait and carried that on through like your friends and
Yeah.
other younger cousins and stuff, or your little friends.
My little friends. Yeah.
That's
he
wonderful.
was like the kindest person. Like he was just so funny. He really made an effort to like make things fun for me, and that really stuck with me because I think I was kind of born a mean personality. You know, like I just like fought, I like came out of the womb like fighting random kids, you know, like
That was me too. Yeah, dude, I was an asshole. Christina can confirm. Like, I was talking about this literally yesterday. I was like, I was an asshole when I was younger, and she's like, confirm Steve was an asshole.
I was really bad. My mom, last summer, I went to like a family event, and she was like, "Oh, you were such a mean kid." She said she took me to like a indoor playground, and there's like all kinds of toys. She would be like really embarrassed because people would be like, "Oh, who's your kid?" And you look over and I'm the kid. Like I just pushed someone over out of their toy car and like got in and rode away.
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, it's terrible, but it's also like that's like pretty much the only time you can get. I consider that like the Grand Theft Auto version of like your life, is you can pretty much get away with a lot of shit, and that people will be like, "Don't do that. Stop." Like, what are you gonna do? You know, like it's a fucking kid. It's yeah.
Yeah. I was a total dick.
Yeah.
But my brother wasn't. He wasn't. He was so sweet to me. And then because it made me feel so good, I wanted to do that for other kids. So I made a really large effort to be that for other children who were a little bit younger than me. So I didn't get always video games with that. There would be other kids that I just met, and I would just try to be silly and fun and like do things that he did for me, like in fun ways. And I don't know. I guess I liked that so much, and all of that so much, that I just wanted that to be my life path. And when I found out that was a possibility, I was like, I'm gonna do everything I can to make this my life.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So that was like your start to the whole, like, your why as to how you got into streaming, and then you're just, because you're doing it so much now, you're like discovering how you'd like to do it, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. That's awesome. So that's like, I don't know, that's a really good why. That's I haven't really encountered anybody who's explained it to me in that sort of sense, like where it was almost like they were passed down like the torch and was like, you go do great things, and you're like, yeah, okay, this is fucking awesome. Like I don't know. I didn't have like a role model to really like push me to do that, but in a similar sense, it was like my sister has always been there for me, and like we've always been close. And when I started taking care of myself, like mentally, physically, whatever, and then it was like, okay, well, the closest relationship I have is like my sister. You trained for this, goddamn it. She always says that when I'm like doing anything. Like I'll be like moving like a bunch of cups or some shit. She'll be like, you trained for this. It'll be like everything in between. Fucking ridiculous, god damn it. But yeah, that's like that's I don't know, it's so interesting that your scenario, even though it was very different, brings up the very same feelings that you're reminiscing about and explaining to me. So that's awesome. I don't really have anything more to add to that, in all honesty. I think that's just like really great why you would pursue that. And it's not something that I don't know, you don't really associate it with streaming for the most part. I feel like when you see a lot of streamers, it's very easy to like get to know who's kind of got that why inside them, the really the humble why, the reason that they're pursuing this stuff. And there's a lot of like greed and all that other stuff, and it's really great to have that as like your cornerstone for why you do everything.
Thank you. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. I never really thought about it in my head. Like, since I heard about streaming, that was like the first thought I had, is like, oh, that's gonna be the thing that I need to do. Like, that's, that's what I've got to do. But I guess I never really thought about how other people got started like that much. Like, I always thought it would have been basically the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it is pretty in depth, isn't it? I just feel like, I guess, like, also one thing that stood out to me about streaming and like how you need to start is by talking to yourself, and I was like, well, I can do that. Like, I did that for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. They made fun of me for enough times that I kind of stopped doing, but I was still doing it in my head.
Yeah,
I remember one time I was 11 and I was playing Mario Kart, and the whole time I was playing, I don't think I did it out loud. I might have done it out loud, but I played the whole time pretending I had a British accent.
Nice.
And just like was acting as if I was karting as Princess Peach, and I was like acting as if I was Princess Peach and talking in a British accent and like threatening the other Mario Kart passerbys, like, and I was by myself in my
so you're like, good day, fuck you, Yoshi, you piece of shit. Like,
Yoshi, I'll kick you out of the kingdom. Get at me with that shell. Fuck you. I mean, I probably didn't swear.
No, but it's funny to think about that. You would be like, what if you did like a Cockney accent? We're like, oi! You fucking twat, what are you doing over here? Like, oh, I can't even. I don't feel like I didn't start doing the whole talking out loud thing with gaming. It was just something that my dad always did, like whether he was making a sandwich or I don't know, like that's how I would wait. I remember waking up in the mornings for school, and we could hear him downstairs being like, take the bread, put the ham and cheese. Like he would be like, so like I guess I sing a lot is about random stupid shit, but I don't really talk as much, I guess, until I started streaming. So that's really funny. Weird.
That is really fun. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like maybe that's being that you were unaware of it too. It honestly explains a lot of the people that really enjoy the content, because I feel like I really enjoy your content because of the why is like now this extra layer of like, oh, this is where this comes from. It's almost like an unexplained, why do I feel like this person is cool as fuck to me?
Oh,
does that make sense? Like Meggles,
yes.
I think you would agree, because like Meggles and me, I don't know, it's weird. I'm not trying to say me and Meggles have like a bond or whatever, but like there's just this innate sense of just understanding, like, you're cool as fuck and I would hang out with you. You know what I mean? And it just sort of happens from this, the energy you bring to stream, your personality, just like the way you honestly sit there and just allow, it's almost like we're just hanging out with you. There's no barrier. Like the camera could either be there or not be there. It's just this this vibe that you bring. And dude, at work you do the same thing. There's just fucking memes in between and shit.
Oh.
I'm mooking here now. Don't be weird.
Don't be weird on the podcast.
Don't be weird on the podcast. Don't worry. Shut your fucking mouth, all right? Don't fucking embarrass me, you fuck. Okay?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, God. I love you. I love you so much. Natty, welcome in. So grew up with your brother playing video games. You had like this lineage of small friends, little friends that you were playing games for. You started streaming, and now you're like kind of finding your It's like when you tell me, did we just become best friends? Yell? It's when you yell? Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Did we just become best friends? Do you want to do karate in the garage? Fuck yeah. So one thing we touched on a little bit in our conversation was in terms of like growing up, you and me had a similar sort of perspective, or not perspective. We had a certain idea in our heads that like, you know, if I acted a certain way, people will like me more because of just, you know, growing up in school. Like that was just a rough experience in general. For most of us, I would say, and dealing with all of that and still coming out to being, no. I lost my train of thought. You said recently you had sort of hit the reset button, so to speak. In your life about like really getting acquainted with who you are and how you'd like to act and understanding like what other people's perspectives mean to you or what value does that add to what you're doing. So I think we should talk about that. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. So like in school, I hit like a point where I got like anxiety, I guess. Like I started getting like really strange with people. And like I was bullied a little bit. I think that, you know, caused me to act really weird. Because I started getting really concerned about like what people thought of me, right?
Right.
And so I remember I used to like stand and observe the people's conversation to try to figure out like what do they like, how do they talk to each other, how do they, and like you can't like, I would just stand there and like a circle of people and watch them, which is, I mean, super off-putting. So
you know what I'm thinking of? Like, did you ever watch Hey Arnold?
Oh yeah, the guy that breathes.
That mouth breathing guy. He's like,
Yeah.
Hi.
I'm sure that's how people felt about me. Because I would just join their circle, and then the more I liked them, the less likely I was to speak. So sometimes I would be able to like get their acquaintance before I cared about who they were, but then once I started liking them, I would just slowly stop talking to them more and more to try to observe them more. It was rough.
It sounds rough.
So I had kind of two moments where I kind of had to, you know, I started growing a bit, and one was actually like not that long ago, but so this observational thing didn't really stop until I was 15 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was dressing and acting totally different than I wasn't really expressing who I was. And so the first time I kind of I realized I needed to stop like trying to express what I think other people want to see. So I remember I donated a bunch of my clothes and started dressing completely different. Like I made fun of a lot for dressing weird.
Sure, yeah.
But I was dressing pretty fashionably, actually. It got a little bit later, people were like, wow, you have great fashion sense. And I was like, last year you told me this was stupid.
Joke's on you. I didn't get a new shirt. So fuck
this
yourself.
Hasn't been a new shirt for a while. All my clothes are hand-me-downs, so
That's even cooler now, because we had that whole like thrift shop phase. They made a whole song about it.
Thrift Store came out.
Yeah.
That song, and everyone suddenly thought I was really cool. I'm not
Hell
kidding.
yeah, man, because they were like, this man with the saxophone's following this lady around everywhere she goes, and she's got money in her pants. Only $5 in her pocket. I don't know the lyrics. I'm sorry for interrupting.
I only got $20 in my pocket.
$20.
Yeah, that increased my popularity kind of, but not really, because I still didn't talk to people.
Shout out to Macklemore. Thanks for boosting Poppy's popularity levels in high school.
High school got maybe a little bit easier after you released that song. So, I mean, I had that, but then I was still not able to talk to people really. Like, I was being really closed off with people and being like, I was still concerned with what they thought of me, but I was immediately, when I met somebody, assuming that they wouldn't like me. And therefore, I wouldn't tell them what I was up to, tell them much about me. At my last job, if they asked me what I was doing or what I was going to do, I'd always be like, nothing. And like, I felt like that was cutting me off from relationships because I would just assume they didn't like me. There was no way. And then I'd be like, why aren't I making friends? It's like, well, you're not letting people get close to you.
Yeah.
You know, like you're giving people very minimal information. And then the only people that you get close with are people who really pry and try really hard to be your friend.
Can I ask?
Sometimes results in toxic friendships.
Right.
So
definitely. Well,
Yeah.
can I ask, like, when this reflection started? Like, was there a point where you're like, why do I have so many fucking toxic people in my life? Or like, was there a threshold that was crossed, or was this more like you were just over time you were trying to figure this shit out, and during that you saw what the repercussions were with friendships and like your own self, and you were like, well, what the fuck am I doing?
I started streaming before I got my last job. So I was unemployed, and then I was applying for jobs while I was streaming, kind of in between the process. So I was unemployed for 2 months, and then I got a job. And in those 2 months I started streaming. I think I streamed for a month before I got my job. And so I was streaming, and then I got this job, and I was working there, and I worked at Victoria's Secret as a sales girl. And the other girls at Victoria's Secret were very different in personality from me. Like, a lot of them were like super into like Kylie Jenner, and like, had like the false lashes, and were, like maybe a little bit like snarky sometimes. Like, I'm not saying that girls like that are usually fucking bad or anything. Some of them were really cool people, but I wasn't connecting with them, and it was kind of like bringing me down in a way. Like, I was having
We didn't have
trouble
any
a
friends
lot.
at work.
Yeah.
And you spend like majority of your time there, you know what I mean? So it's,
Yeah.
if you're surrounded by, people that treat you differently, or you're like, you get the sense that like, why don't you like me, blah blah blah, like for no reason, without any context or whatever. It's just like, it's very much the reminder of high school, where like people treated you differently because whatever fucking reason. They didn't even have one. It was just like, nah, I want to deal with it, so
Yeah.
it's easy to associate the two. And I don't know, that's how I was when I was working like in the past at like Best Buy and shit. It was like, why doesn't this guy like me? He doesn't even fucking know who I am. He's like 18
Exactly.
or some shit.
So I wasn't like very well liked at that job. I don't think anyone particularly had a problem with me. Like, maybe a few of them did. But there is kind of a point, like I was learning streaming, and I was doing all this research, and I was trying to figure out how to manage a community, and I was working really hard on it. But I started developing like real connections with the people that watch my stream, and I kind of realized, I was like, holy fuck, I'm very bad with people. Like, I'm really good with these people that come to my stream,
Right.
but like everyone I know in person, everyone I've ever been friends with, everyone like I know I do weird shit, and I get really cold, and I close them out, and it gives them the impression that I have a problem with them, that I don't care about them,
Right.
that like there's no way I can connect with these people, because I'm not letting that happen.
Right.
And it comes from like a confidence issue, and it made me, I like started kind of going into my like roots, and having to kind of fix this weird situation where I had set myself up for, which was just like very closed off. Like, you have to try really hard to be friends with me, otherwise I'm not giving you the time of day. And I used to suddenly cut my friends out.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
I would get anxious, and then I would stop talking to them, and then
Okay.
sometimes they get really upset about it, and I would just kind of still be cold about it. And
Yeah.
I realized, like, ooh, that's super hurtful, and I don't want to be like that. I want people to know when I love them, and not think that I have a problem with them, or that I don't care about them.
Right.
So it was like interacting with people on a daily basis on stream helped me to realize how I was not interacting with people properly in real life. So
What a
that was
discovery.
maybe... Yeah.
That's a really like trying question for you too, because if you had thought, like, you've had this sort of sense that something was wrong, whether it was with you or the situation or whatever, and so it stuck with you long enough, but you didn't ignore it. Like, some people can get swept up in the whole process of trying to figure it out, and then they just it's like, well, I just accept this, I'm a fucking weirdo and nobody wants to be friends with me, and this is just like my personality trait, and then they personify that through the rest of their existence. But it's really interesting to see that you were like, because of the relationships you had made online, and you were like, oh, what the fuck, why can't I do this in person? What do you think that is?
I think it's hard to say. Like I can't pinpoint the exact interactions I had that like made me realize exactly like what it was, but I know that like the reason that I was able to pinpoint it and go like, oh, this is where it goes back to, is because everything that I do that isn't working out for me, I reflect back on myself. I don't like to accept like, oh, I'm just this type of person. That has always been something that has bothered me. I've been kind
Yeah.
of into self awareness and self improvement since I was like 12.
Yeah.
So I like everything that isn't working out for me, I try to find a solution instead of accepting it, because if it's, I don't just accept sadness, I don't just accept negative things, I find solutions, you know? And
Yeah.
if it means that I have to look at myself and go, oh, you've been a shitty friend and really weird, then I have to look at myself and understand that and face it.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm gonna ultimately live a happier life. Like I can't you can't accept this like, oh, I just suck at making friends, that's who I am. Like no, I'm going to learn how to be better at making friends.
Yeah.
And now I have like 4 new friends right now.
Hell
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
So I really did figure it out, but it's because I'm always trying for that. And I don't know, online it was, I guess, just easier. Like,
well, you get to be unapologetically yourself without any context or prerequisites, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So there's no like outside. I mean, we understand that everybody in here has a name and they have their own lives and all that stuff. But it's not like you're in a room full of these people who are all like crowded around the couch watching you play at the same time. That would be like almost more intimidating, right? Well,
Yeah.
it would be more intimidating, not almost, fucking. And so you would act differently, but without any sort of, without the context of a room full of people to leave an impression with, and you're just like, I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna do what I like, how I would do it if I was by myself. That really does really help you come out of your shell, because what you're doing on a daily basis is you're bringing your best self, or your breast foot forward. Damn, I can't talk. But you're putting your best foot forward. You're really like trying to better yourself. So, I mean, with streaming or not, I think you venturing into this sort of endeavor and streaming online, this was a step to better yourself, almost, and it's clearly working.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's also like on your Twitch page, people are there to see you and whatever that is. So I was able to turn off that weird filter that stopped me from being animated. I was able to just act weird, and you know,
But you're not acting weird, but like that's what everybody's been telling you. So you use that same language to describe you just being yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone called me weird for a really long time, so I kind of like would stifle it. But on the internet, I was like, oh, I can go ahead and do this because people are gonna be more into it.
Yeah.
And then once I kind of realized that people liked me, there's this moment, actually, a really notable moment for me, where this girl, that she didn't like me at work, and I think she just thought I was dorky, like I just rubbed her the wrong way.
Sure.
And one time, one of the coworkers actually did came up to me while this other girl was in the room and was like, hey, guess what? We're getting time and a half today. And I was like, are we really? And she was like, yep, it's I don't remember what date it was.
Sure.
It's, March 7th or whatever. We get time and a half. And I was like, I broke out a little dance and I was like, nice. And this other girl that was in the room that didn't like me looked at me and she goes, I can't believe you have a boyfriend. I was like, what?
Bitch, what is that head? Did you see these dance moves? Don't be jealous.
Yeah, I was like, he likes these dance moves. When I dance, he's excited. Like, what do you mean?
In fact, he joins in when he sees me doing it. So I need you to fucking chill out, lady.
Yeah. But in that moment, I had this moment of conflict where I was like, oh, fuck, like, she doesn't like me. Like,
sure.
I acted dorky just now. Like, I felt kind of embarrassed. But then I realized, I was like, wait a second. I was like, I have like 30 people who come to my stream regularly, and they all think I'm cool. I was like, I don't need this bitch to like me.
Hell yeah, dude. Oh my god, that's amazing.
And then I think from that moment, I was a lot more confident, because I was like, people do enjoy me, and they enjoy me when I'm being an idiot, I don't have to worry about if this, girl who wants to be Kylie Jenner thinks that I suck,
Yeah. Why do you need to impress her? She has no like stance or value to add to your life in any way. So
yeah, like even we wouldn't get along anyways. Like we're very different people. And even though I never really had a problem with her, I had a problem with her having a problem with me, but I thought she was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But like
well, some girls are and I think like just this is again, I'm not speaking from like being an expert or whatever, but from what I've read, like there's a territorial thing when it comes down to like jealousy, because it means like if you're more confident or silly or whatever it is, like somebody could be taking their life so seriously that if like there was any silliness, they try to shut it down. But yeah, when it comes down to like envy or jealousy or whatever it is, like, I mean, maybe it was just the fact that you had a boyfriend and she didn't, right? Like, why can't I get a boyfriend? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I was like, oh, she doesn't have a boyfriend. She thinks I suck, but she did have a boyfriend. So I don't even know what her problem was.
Maybe her boyfriend sucks. I think maybe that was it. I don't know.
Maybe he doesn't like it when she dances like that.
Yeah, she's like, I dance like that in front of him, and he's like, fucking stop.
She's mad at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
she's like, how dare you dance freely, in front of me. I just assume anybody who's got a problem with something so trivial, I'm like, who hurt you? What's wrong? Like, what's going on? Is your life stressful right now? Like, obviously, because your first reaction to a dance is like, go fuck yourself. Stop doing that. You know what I mean? Like, without being funny about it. I don't know. Just chill out. But I see what you mean. It's just like it's a territorial thing though. From what I've read, it's just been like any sort of envy or jealousy, the best way that anybody can handle it is like if it conflicts with them personally or they're stressed or whatever, the automatic response is to be like, can you just stop? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm here to work and work sucks. Like you can focus on like the super negative shit, and when somebody like interjects, it's like that. It's like being so tired in the morning, and you've got that one person who's got the salesman voice that's like, "Oh hi, how are you doing today?" And you're like, "Shut the fuck up, lady! Like why are you talking like this? What is going on?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You know what? That's probably like it actually. I bet you. Yeah, it totally rubbed her the wrong way. But she's probably like more serious person than me, because I'm always like trying to be happy as much as possible. So like if someone feels really negative or is the opposite of that, then they don't like me very much.
The clash,
like, yeah, things are fine. Even when I'm stressed. I remember my friend had a girlfriend in high school, and she liked me. She thought it was cool, but then she suddenly didn't like me, and he was like, I understand why you don't like her. And she was like, she's happy all the time. And I was like, I'm not happy all the time. I'm just not trying to be negative all the time.
Yeah, you're just trying to enjoy the moment. It's really hard for people to like. I think enjoying the moment is something that I learned relatively recently. Like I would say in the past, I share this all the time on stream, but like I feel like I haven't been actually conscious and aware of like my behaviors and all of that stuff, but until the like 4 years ago or something. And like that, I can't think of like a turning. Well, my turning point was a really weird like flotation set like thing with a gorilla, and like a weird story that I will tell never again because I say it all the time, but it was just a recognition of like the negative behaviors that I had and understanding that like both the negative and the positive things that I do are all a part of me, and they're not separated or not like me. It's just I need to understand the mindset I was in when those things happened, and I need to approach a lot with forgiveness, because for me, like, I mean, it was mostly ADHD, where like I had these negative behaviors and I was punished for them, like punished by, you're not focusing, you have poor grades or whatever, like you're smart, but like, why can't you do this? And so I thought something was wrong with me, but I never had the confirmation that ever happened. So I was like always internally conflicted, like this isn't me, these like me interrupting people, and like, I don't know. There's a bunch of other, I would say, very minor negative behaviors that I hyper focused on that I tried to like separate from myself, and therefore faked who I was for a long time, because I was like, I don't know who I am. But there's just this understanding, like you're saying, where you sort of have this like reflection period where you're going over all the past, whether mistakes or what you feel are interactions that like didn't feel good, and you're trying to pick apart why those things are happening. And it's just, if you have like a good reason for it, like for me, like having a name for like ADHD and the behaviors associated with it, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like now I can look at these and understand them more, because it's not just like this ambiguous thing that I'm doing. And you kind of did the same thing where you were like, okay, this is the result of, you know, my situation, this interaction that I have with somebody. Let me look into how I can have a better relationship with just people, or just start talking with people, and then use like streaming as a tool to make that even like accelerate that process, because you're like forcing yourself out of your comfort zone to interact with people you've never even met or knew before. And you're like, that perspective, that lens of like, what will they think of me, starts to disintegrate the more you do it, I guess, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Did you have anything else to add to that, or do you want to move on to like our next thing?
I think we're good. I think we're good. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I wish I had the Zoom set up for it.
I just do that sometimes. I don't know.
I just trip all over my words. You do a really good job of being like, yeah, I don't know. Like, and I don't do that. I just like trip over. I say breast foot forward and shit.
I do that too.
But so we talked briefly about like the negative behaviors of our fellow colleagues, and I say them because like I think you and me work together on the platform. I think I work with everybody on the platform. So there's a lot of like specific negative behaviors and positive specific behaviors that you can do on the platform. And we talked a little bit about like chat etiquette, and then it turned into sort of this conversation about like streaming as a woman on Twitch, and like how that even outside of just the stream is sort of viewed as this like e-girl sort of bullshit when it's actually like a real thing that people do. I don't know if you fucking you guys are all here watching. But we talked a little bit about that, and I mean, your most recent tweet's fucking amazing. If you guys haven't checked out Poppy yet, please give her a follow on Twitch and Twitter. Your life will be enriched. Her tweets are very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. But yeah, I wanted you to sort of like recap a little bit about your start to this, and like we can go into your experience with chat and all that, and then outside of it, of course, like in IRL and all that.
Okay, so my experience with chat first. Well, I mean, with chat, starting streaming. Sorry, I feel like my throat is like.
Do you need to grab some water?
I have water. See, that's the problem.
Okay.
It just wants that. Okay, I'll stop now though.
No, you're good. If you need to, you can do it. It's fine.
Thank you. With chat, I think starting streaming was kind of weird because I felt like there was actually a lot of hate at the beginning. I don't know. I probably get the same amount of hate. I just don't think about it now.
Well, think about it like this: is like you have the ability to be accessed easily, and people just to be skimming channels and be like, well, this person, I'm gonna fuck with them, you know, like you just, if you don't have enough people in there, like the likelihood is very, I mean, even when I started, like I had people coming in, I'm like, what are you doing? Where did you come from? Why are you saying these things? I'm just trying to play games on the internet with my friends. Yeah.
Like, so then you're like, I only have 2 viewers. Like, should I let this person stay?
Yeah. I mean, they're like a number, so is that good? Yeah. Like,
like, is this good? So, yeah, I felt like at the beginning it was really hard. I remember, I definitely had trouble like setting boundaries at all with viewers. So I think that guys will do this thing where they get in a group of like, I don't know, 3 to 10 people, and they go to the bottom female Twitch streamers and they just fucking harass the shit out of them because they know they're relatively unmoderated. So they just spew hate. So like, because now someone comes in and says something like even close to being a troll, and someone's like banned. Like you can't get, like, we have moderators that are just walls. Like they just no.
No, you can't do that. Yeah.
in a small stream, it's like, you know, you might have a mod on a Tuesday, you know, like you don't, you
Right.
don't have mods yet. And if you do have a mod, like you could just convince someone to mod you sometimes. Like it depends on that experience of the streamer. Like they really are susceptible to being hated on more. So I felt like I was really affected by that when it happened. I remember there's a couple streams where I would get off and be like, ah,
Yeah.
and be mad. But yeah, it doesn't really happen now. But that was kind of tough. Now I'm like, actually, if I wasn't so stubborn, I don't know if I would have, like, if I was someone that didn't have like a mission and like I'm doing this, like I don't care. I don't know if I would have continued streaming, because sometimes I felt worse after streaming, like so much worse.
Yeah, of course, because you feel like you're not accomplishing anything, and it's like, this isn't what I signed up for. I wanted to connect with people, and these people are like pushing me away for no fucking reason. This is exactly,
they're being mean to me. They're calling me names.
Yeah,
like,
and
you're getting,
and what's your
like,
and you're referencing your past history too. So like reliving that shit.
Yeah. And
online is like, why here too? What the fuck? Like you just have no. You have no reason. Like there's just why you fucking why? Like you just there's this, I don't know. I think it's even more exaggerated when you've grown up the way you have. Because I know it was like that for me. You know, it's insane. But you do a really good job of handling people now. Like you're way more experienced, and if people do come in, you handle it in perfect stride. It's like now it's just like fucking dandruff. You're like, oh shit, get the fuck off me. Like,
you're like, get on my chat, dude. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about
you're like, thanks, beer good. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
So yeah, I've now it doesn't matter. I can't even think of, like, half the time one of my mods will like mention like, oh, I remember that funny message someone dropped, and I'm like, I don't. Like it's like my brain's just like they just like, I don't even remember them at the end of the day. The other day he felt really bad because he thought he creeped me out, because he referenced something that someone said that was really creepy in the chat, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, oh my god. No, I'm not trying to say what they said to you. I was making fun of someone else. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. But what's even more interesting and more frustrating for me is like, now I feel like I'm doing good. Like I feel like I get streaming. I'm like, you know, now I actually tell people if they ask me what I do for a job that I stream. But the problem with it is like, what's the number? I like 9 out of 10 times people go, oh, you stream on Twitch? Oh, like that must be so easy for you. Do you play games? And I'm like,
yeah.
Like, do you just talk? And then I'm like, no, I play games. They're like, oh, well, you're like good looking enough. Like you could just talk. And it's like, oh, okay. Or like, I'm not surprised that you're doing well on there because you're good looking. And it's just kind of like, it just fucking immediately is like, oh, you're not doing any work. 0 work is needed. You just sit in front of a camera and do nothing. And that's just like the quick assumption that's made. And it's frustrating because then every time I tell someone what I do and they know what Twitch is, I don't have to explain Twitch. I have to explain to them that I'm not, you know, like a titty streamer, right? Like, and then I have to, like, it's
respect
it's
your titty streamers, boys and girls.
Yeah, so I get frustrated by that because it's almost worse than if they don't know the platform, right? If they do know the platform, they think that all women on it are just sitting there with like cleavage. Then you have to go, oh, I don't do that. I play games. And then you have to, and then it's like, okay, play a game of prove to me that you actually do play games. What games do you play? What do you know about? What's your favorite game? And you're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's go down this fucking hole again. You think I haven't had this question before? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Well, we had like, so just for an example too, and I want everybody to do this if you haven't. If you go to Google, okay, and you type in Twitch girl, it's terrible. Like, this is just like, unfortunately, if you were getting into Twitch and like, if you don't have experience, the representation of this is like a mixed bag. Like, if you do Twitch girls, what was it? The top 10 female streamers everyone must watch. That's fucking nice. And then you scroll down and it's just like hot Twitch girl moments, 2018, Ultimate Hot Twitch Girl Moments number 8 2017 HD featuring like all this shit. It's just there's a lot of it's almost like a forced perspective. And so I know like when I started streaming, I was just going around the platform and taking a look, and you know, you go to the top channels and you're starting to look at the content that's there. And I think a lot of this, and we talked a bit about like how young this is, you know, the platform is super young. There isn't like a whole lot of experience with it. People who hear online and streaming, before it was even streaming, like porn was a thing too, especially if you're a dude. And then you go to like, oh, what's Twitch? And I Google that because I don't fucking know what I'm doing. I'm going to be led astray with all the information that I have access to. And so I'm not trying to make an excuse for anybody who's like grilling you on this shit, but it's like, unfortunately, this is the forced perspective that exists right now. And I think with, you know, awesome people like yourself and Meggles and the Jenna sisters and like all these other streamers that we watch, it's just, that's where the tide starts to turn. And like, I know it's exhausting explaining this stuff over and over again, but I mean, your validation comes from yourself, you know what I mean? And I know that frustrating feeling of like feeling like you're not bringing value because somebody is talking to you like you don't, but you really are. Like, you really are making a difference for people who want to stream, who like streaming, especially when it comes down to like, I mean, I can't even speak on behalf of them as a dude. Like, this is just how I feel because I sense the confidence of how you carry yourself and what you're passionate about, and you explaining it here even validates it even more. It's like, now we're just peeling back the layers, and yes, of course, there's a lot of substance here, just like we always thought. It's just unfortunate that you have to deal with so many people who are uneducated about all of this stuff, because it's just like, I don't fucking know. Anytime I can imagine somebody doing that, the voice that I think of is like, oh yeah? What do you do on there, huh? I've been playing Super Nintendo since I was like a little boy. Like, it's just some stupid ass voice for a dude. You know what I mean? I don't think of like a normal person who would ask that question and be like, yeah, you're fucking, you're doing, what are you doing online? Like, what? I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, it's actually the people who ask that question are usually like your average kind of guys. And I mean, it's not the worst thing, because it is kind of like, it's frustrating, but at least like they give me an opportunity to educate them and be like, no, I'm playing games, I'm doing this.
That's good.
You know, and then they, you know, usually they kind of go, oh wow, like that's really cool, you know, and that kind of helps. And then hopefully the next time they meet a girl in my position, they're not like, oh, you just put your boobs out and people come over and pay you,
right?
You know, so my hope is that they learn from that. It is just at least not exciting for me when I have to answer that, because it's
right.
It's just a little bit like, okay, like you're kind of implying that I don't actually work for what I do, but I've had to work really hard. So
yeah. Well, I mean, it's so weird how like words can make you feel like all of the work, the physical work you've done is just invalidated. And you can kind of translate into a lot of things, like, for sure, but this one has more weight because it's just like they're explaining away a process that you've spent a lot of time, love, and care like to put together for yourself so that you could be successful in your own eyes. And so like being dismissive of that is the same as like, oh, you have a house? Bet it's a real piece of shit. What do you got any furniture in there or what? And you're like, what the fuck, dude? You don't even know me. Like, you just asked about my house and I said I had one, and now you're doing this.
Yeah.
But nobody does that because we know what houses are and all that. Like, you would assume like, oh, that's really cool. Like, why would I ask about a house? But the inquiry is always an interesting thing. And like, I talk about this a lot on the show. There's a default mental pathway that I am susceptible in going down to. And the easiest path is just to be a fucking asshole about it, or be like, like, and have that sort of thing hanging in your head, even if you're explaining it passionately. You're just like, I can't believe I gotta fucking explain this again to this chump. But it's just so new. Like, there's just this, unfortunately, like I said, there's that forced perspective. Like, even just Googling it, it's like, this is what a lot of you guys are up against, unfortunately. And you're gonna get a lot of like, anytime I see somebody who's super disrespectful in the chat, I assume, my assumption is that they're around the like teenage years, because this is the most access platform for them. They have the most time, and it's also like what you said wasn't even fucking creative. Like, you didn't even think before you were even talking in the chat. And I remember doing that because I did it on Xbox Live or AOL like Messenger, or texting my friends. Like, there wasn't even a second thought as to what I was going to say. It was just, you know who I am, barf, you know what I mean? And a lot of people start off on Twitch like that. You have some people who come in and like, you'll read something in chat and it won't even be offensive. You'll be like,
how neat is that?
it's not neat. What the fuck are you doing? What do you... Did you even... Have you typed before? You know, like, it's just... I don't know. I think it's really easy to get swept up in like because this is your world now, that it's really easy to get swept up in the motions of the ocean and forget like where the groundwork is and where everything started. Because I do it all the time too. Man.
Yeah. Well,
But that,
you know, like,
having to validate yourself so much is like exhausting, I bet, for sure.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Constantly. But I mean, that's why it's so important for, you know, the girls who are coming onto Twitch and are like second guessing it, because it is like kind of a dudes club sort of. Like, I feel like in the smaller levels of it really isn't anymore, at least. Like, you see a lot. At least I follow a lot of women. Like, I probably follow just as many women as I do men. Probably. Maybe close to the same percentage. But at least that's close to, you know, what I watch. And so like the more that we, you know, start to grow and everything, the less that is going to be an issue, right? And the less that you're gonna have people be like, oh, all girls that are streaming on Twitch are just trying to get money and we're never even into video games or whatever the hell.
But we're all trying to get money here in some capacity, like to a certain extent. It's a driving force for sure, you know, but to associate it with like a negative thing, that's fucking, I think it's the same thing as like the anger or like the exhaustedness is just, it's an easy way to think about that because that's what you hear about. You know, I have friends who are on the platform that I knew in real life, and like I watched them stream. I'm like, what? You're not acting like yourself. You know what I mean? And you're clearly like putting yourself out there, not because you're like feeling yourself. It's really just like there's an attention aspect to it, and you can kind of pick that vibe up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it does take a lot of time and experience. I mean, I was like tainted by that perspective too when I first started streaming on the platform. I was like, that's insane. Like these people just are very underdressed and playing a game with their cam super huge, and they have all these people watching them. And I'm like, I mean, it explains a lot. Like after doing so much investigation on my own life, I'm like, I'm pretty much a caveman with like nuanced emotions now. And if you speak to like that caveman like level of DNA level of people, even if it's like 1% of the population and how many people got internet, it's like you're gonna tap into some vein there. It's just a matter of like, are you growing as a person? Is there a substance there that do you feel like you can bond with that person or understand it? And like that's where I say again, like the Megals and the Poppies and like all you guys are doing a really good job of doing this, and like talking about it too is fucking huge.
Yeah, I think talking about it helps a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just gonna be one of those things for a little while, and then I think once the platform kind of grows out of this like shock value phase that it's kind of in, it's like it's getting out of there a little bit more so. But like, I feel like Twitch really started to blow up when it was like you saw all these controversial streamers, like, you know, doing crazy stuff. Like a lot of the top streamers are kind of toxic acting, and then you had Twitch fails and all these girls and stuff. Like that was like the flash appeal of Twitch.
The Twitch fails comps. I was like, what's happening, guys? This is like fucking TMZ.
It kind of is, yeah. I mean, we even talked about how another girl was put over a clip of my Twitch fail.
Yeah, please, like.
Yeah, so I had if you guys don't know, I had a Twitch fail moment where I was really sick, shouldn't have been streaming. I called into work that day because I was too sick, but I wanted to stream because, you know, I wanted to keep going. And so I
The grind, am I right?
The grind, yeah. So I decided to stream, even though I had a fever. I was like dripping snot all over my face. I had like this spins. I ended up having to end the stream because I almost threw up on stream. But I streamed anyway. And I was just like, my nose was so runny. It was so runny, and I kept on taking breaks where I would just change the scene and then mute the mic and then just blow my nose as hard as I could to try to get like all the snot out, like as much as possible in between, so that I wouldn't have to do it again, like, because I was dripping snot, like it was not stopping. But I thought that if I just did that every once in a while, I'll be fine. So I went to change scenes. I went to mute my mic and I blew my nose like super hard, like, went for it. And then I realized I muted the game audio and not my audio. And so and I was like in the mic, and I just blew my nose in the mic, and it sounded like I was like taking a shit. Like it was
juicy,
bad.
Guys.
It was a very juicy. It's my top clip if you ever want to go look at it.
The boyfriend. You want to go look at it? Fuck, dude. Sorry.
So you can. It's there, and so it got clipped. It got sent to Twitch fails, and so a Twitch fails compilation picked it up, and they made it like the clickbait title that caught people in. So they put "Streamer girl forgets to mute mic," and they put somebody who wasn't in the compilation, somebody else's picture over top of it, and it still comes up if you image search my name. She's like, they even put the overlay of the Majora's Mask, because that's what I was playing. So right before the clip starts, you can see the game kind of like swap. So they put the Majora's Mask overlay, and then she's like, I don't know, she looks like she's doing something like naughty.
Cosplay or something.
Yeah, and she's like maybe dressed a little bit more revealing, but I felt worse for her, because then that's implying that she did something that she didn't do.
Right.
And now like people think that she did, like, because you could just run by that title and then go to her stream and be like, what were you doing?
Like, I heard you blew your fucking gross ass nose into the microphone. And you're like,
yeah, it wasn't even her. Somebody else took her image and put it on a title. So I was like, as much as this sucks for me, and some people were also saying that I stopped to do coke, and I was like, you don't know what inhaling through the nose sounds like then, because that's not it. But
yeah, that's not it,
that was
guys.
Unhappy for me, but I feel like that was probably a lot worse for her,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's nice that you thought of that person too. And it's also, I mean, what a fucking clickbait culture we're in right now, where it's like, what image was going to draw attention or whatever. And like, they probably combed through your stuff to see if there was anything to grab. And it was just like, well, we got this saved pictures of weird Twitch streamers on Instagram. Let's just pop it on there. Done.
Yeah.
Let's call it a day. Good work, Stan. I don't fucking know.
For any chat members,
Do it.
there you go. You can go look at the clip. It's, I don't know, a lot
juicy.
of people were like, this isn't even a fail. It was just good clickbait. I think that's why I was put in the
69 out of 10.
Oh my god.
Good job, Edward. Thanks, man. Oh man. No, that's it's a good one. Like, here, I'll just play it for people who may be listening. It's pretty intense. Let me make sure the volume's not like crazy. It's almost comedic, because it's like, we don't know what you're doing, and then,
Yeah.
and then just that sweet nose juice coming.
Yeah, I mean,
So
in the
funny.
context of the stream, you knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I announced that I was going to blow my nose and that it was too gross, and then proceeded to blow my nose right next to the mic. So, but like the clip is just, it's perfectly cut, so you don't see how I'm like, I'm really sick, I'm dripping from the nose, I need to blow my nose. So then some people are like, this is a fail because she's actually on cocaine. I remember one of the comments was like, she always acts so silly on her streams because she's on coke. I'm like, what? I think anyone who acts just remotely weird is always on coke.
I love how that's the default like thought, is like, oh, she's pretty silly. She's got to be doing coke. Like, there's no other explanation for that.
Things of silly equals cocaine.
Cocaine, yeah. 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 Awesome. So, well, I guess like if you were going to, this is I think a really good question. If you were going to give advice to anybody who is like looking to do this, especially as a like, I think you're doing an amazing job just being yourself and doing your own thing on Twitch. If you could give advice to anybody who's like hesitant to do this, or maybe they were going through that same experience that you were going through when they like first started streaming and they were encountering so many like negative people, and you were leaving stream, you know, more times than not, like upset about it. What advice would you give to them?
You gotta set boundaries. You can't let people, like, even though it's like a view or whatever, these people like they breed. They breed and like they have kids with each other and they bring over their troll friends and they'll all be bad. So even if you think you might be able to convert a troll into a viewer, they're not gonna be very nice. Like 9 times out of 10, they're gonna still kind of be a dick because they think being a dick equals funny. So set your boundaries. Don't be afraid. In general, don't be afraid to be criticized, because that's the thing that held me back, I think, the most. Once I started letting go of that like fear, I noticed streaming was way more fun. Everything in general just felt so much better once I stopped thinking like, oh, if I do this and someone might say this, and oh, if I act like this and someone might say this, and oh, if I ban that guy, what if he says this or comes back or whatever the hell, or then I lose the viewer and that's the only person that was watching. Like, you just gotta cut those people out and just stop caring so much about criticism. Criticism comes naturally with any kind of internet thing that you're gonna do, especially if it starts to pick up like at all. Like if you're gonna be streaming, you got to be able to like handle real criticism, but that doesn't mean that you need to let people in your space that constantly want to criticize you. So Don't be afraid of those people, and don't be afraid to tell them to fuck off. Just tell them to fuck off. What? They're fuck off. They're banned.
You hear that?
They're probably just gonna fuck off, and that's good. You don't want those people there. It's a bad vibe, and you just gotta do it. I was so scared for a long time that like I had a BRB scene because I didn't want people to see me getting up, because I thought that like people would like say like, oh, she's getting up on stream because she's a thought and she's secretly showing off her body, because people
Really?
say that. They legit say that shit.
No way. You're telling me that this is like when oh my god. I never really thought that was like a thing. But that does,
It is a thing.
I mean, it does make sense, because like half of the like not half, but like any Twitch fails videos I've seen that include like a female streamer, sometimes they'll throw in like the top clip or whatever on YouTube, and it'll be somebody just getting up and whoa, duh, like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, we got to see fucking glance of her ass, and then people will be like, she's doing it on purpose. And I was scared of that criticism, and so I was really nervous to get up on my stream. But then once I started just getting up on my stream, I was like, oh, this is fucking normal, and it's not. And if someone says that, they're actually being a dick. Like, they're actually just being a fucking prick. And why am I catering myself to a prick audience?
Right.
Why am I
building a prick audience
to people that I don't even want to be around, you know?
Yeah.
So once that was all done and I stopped thinking about it like that, and I started just kind of doing what I wanted to do, things were a lot better. And I challenge anyone who's maybe in the same boat as I was, whether you're nervous to kind of like get up or like, do certain things, or maybe dress the way that you dress, or play the music that you like, whatever it might be, just to actually do it, because you want like-minded people in your chat. And the more you show your personality and who you are, and you let yourself be completely authentic, the more you're going to draw in cool people. So just let go of those trolls and whatever hate comments you've seen on the internet for other people, and just let the cool people come in, because they will, and then you can just ban the fucking assholes. Just ban them.
Just ban them.
If you have 6 viewers and one of them is a dick, or even if 3 of them is a dick, it's better to have 3 nice people than 6 assholes in your stream.
True. 6 assholes. Get them out of there.
Nice people won't want to deal with it. they'll leave.
Hell no, it brings the whole room down. It's like when you have that one person who's like bringing the vibe down at a party. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and then imagine that guy that's bringing the vibe down to the party calls his friends over, and they all come over, and then the person hosting the party doesn't kick them out, and then everyone that's cool actually leaves. That's what's gonna happen in your chat. So just kick them out.
I like this advice. Hell yeah, because you can control your environment.
Mm-hmm.
For
we have ban buttons, we have report. You can, and even if someone ban evades, just keep banning them. Just keep banning them. And the more they ban evade, just stop even paying attention to them. That's the best way to get rid of them, is if you don't respond to them and you just ban them, keep doing it, they'll go away. They'll go away. Just keep at it and don't respond, because they're looking for your energy, and they're gonna feed off of whatever response you give them. So if they're ban evading or coming back continuously, just ban and don't say a word, because they're not getting the reaction that they want, and they'll fuck off. So if you keep being like, oh yeah, get out of my chat, they're gonna keep doing it because it's entertaining.
Right. No, that makes sense. I never like everybody has their own way of doing it for sure, and that's awesome advice. Like being able to control your environment's a really big one. I always like try to go in head first, and sometimes it doesn't work. Like, you know, it doesn't work every time. People say like a bad word. I'm like, why are you coming in here saying that shit? What was it? What was the reason? Like, I get it. Maybe you want some attention. Maybe you had a hard day, but like, I gotta purge this, man. Like, what's going on? And then if they, you know, continue to proceed, it's not fun. Like, I try to make it like super low key. Like, okay, well, you know, I'm gonna address you and I'm gonna talk to you like you're an adult, and also I'm gonna like give you the opportunity to give me a good reason why you would do that. And if there's any sign, like I get a whiff of that, or like the mods do, it's just, that's it. Everybody gets one, and that's it. That's how I handle it. But that, I still agree. You don't do that.
If someone says something weird, it's usually a really quick ban, and then if they really want to hang out on the stream, they'll usually message a mod, and like if they're sincere apology, if they go straight to the mod and are like, you fucking, and they start dropping slurs, then it's like, all right, we made a right choice.
Yeah.
You know,
glad we didn't let you in.
Very quick, but you can turn entertainment from trolls as well, like certain trolls, but I have trouble being really direct with people, so like that's something that I work on definitely, is like if someone says something and I know they're cool but they said something that wasn't cool, I have to actually be like serious with them and be like, hey, don't do that, please. You know, it really makes me uncomfortable.
No, you have, oops, I hit the wrong button again.
That's quite big.
Oops. God damn it. I did not mean to do that. I apologize. God damn it. Jesus. It was like on track, and then that fucking thing happened. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to. God. I lost my train of thought. Poppy, help me, please.
Okay, hold on. If somebody, I was saying that somebody, if they come in, oh yeah, I have trouble being direct.
Oh, yes. The directness. I've actually had a lot of people who have been in the channel for a long period of time, and then like out of nowhere, I'll see something that may not be kosher for like anybody who may be coming in, and it could leave the wrong impression. And so I think a lot of it, and this is just me sharing my experience again, like I'm not an expert or whatever, this is just how I handle it, and maybe it'll help you, it's being straightforward, is really just trusting that they'll take that feedback and like be honorable with it. Because anytime I've had a chat where like they mentioned something about like, I don't even know what context it was, because it so rarely happens. Like, and when it does, I address it immediately, so there's no chance for it to come up again. But it was like, hey, just like really quick, and I address them by name, and I change, like I change the scene. So it's like, okay, I'm talking with you now. Like I really want you to know, like, I love you, I respect you, thank you for being here, but like, you got to be careful with what you're saying there. And I do have to purge this, because I don't want anybody who's coming in with no context to see that and feel like, you know, they can't be here or something like that. And it's a really, at first I had a lot of trouble with it, because I was like, oh, what are they going to think of me if I'm like trying to control what people are saying? Because I don't want that. I want people to be able to express themselves and explain things further, and interrupting that could be like, in my perspective, like it not only, it makes me feel really bad, because it's like, well, I didn't give you a chance to even explain like what the context was. But yeah, having that confidence in like how in the people and the respect for the people that are in there, I think that's a really big thing. Like that's what should allow a lot of Twitch streamers to address people and be like, hey, by name, you know, like listen, I didn't remove this because you're a jerk or anything. It was just like without context. Like, what if somebody came in? Like, what if my mom came in here and she saw that? She'd be pretty upset about it. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just.
No, I totally see what you mean. It got a little bit easier for me to like start saying it to people when I actually started watching more of like other people's streams and seeing how they handled that moment.
Oh, cool.
And it really made me realize, like, I think that's really good, like, trusting that they're gonna handle it well first and believing like they're gonna handle this well. And I think that's actually really good advice, because then that'll remove that fear of them like being like, well fuck you, you know, right. And then like doing something weird, right? Especially if it's someone that you know from the stream and you're like, hey, whoa, like you don't normally say that, you
right.
know?
Well, they could also be saying this like outside a stream or whatever it is, and it's like, when you explain the context of why it was removed or like why you're worried about that, because you don't want people to get the wrong impression of them as well. You know, with context, there's a lot to be laughing at, but there's also like the fear of, okay, well, we have new people who may be coming in, and you can, with your voice especially, and I think you're a really good speaker, by the way. I don't know if I told you that, but like the way you explain things, whether it's like a story or something you're passionate about, you do a really good job of conveying emotion. And I did tell you that, but that was not live, I guess. Maybe, I don't know, I'm getting swept up in it. But you do a really good job of doing that, and doing that with your addressing people like in chat. I think people just kind of trust your perspective in general because of how you carry yourself. And for especially people, if they've been there for a while, it's just an automatic like, oh, she's looking out for me, and she's literally speaking to me in empathetic way, as opposed to being like, you know, fucking don't do that, you shithead. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I've watched a couple people that I know like just be like, hey, someone dropped the R word, that's just what I'm gonna say, in one of the chats that I frequent. And the streamer is someone I really admire, and he was like, hey, like I know where you're using that word, I know you don't mean it in a way that's bad, but you know, it's not something that people like, you know, handle very well, and I would appreciate it if you didn't say it in my chat. And they immediately were like, all right, like, sorry about it. And I was like, whoa. And then that actually that like helped me be like, you know what, I can do that too. And I've caught them a couple times where they'll call out someone for doing something, like somebody kind of made a passive aggressive insult to someone else at chat, and he was like, hey, you know what, I'd appreciate it if you didn't instigate arguments in my chat like that, or like, you know, put people down or whatever. And that person wanted to fight about it. They were like, I was not. And he was like, yes, you were. This is why you were. And it's okay. We can learn. We're adults, you know, but just like, I'm just asking you not to do it again. And then chat was like, yeah, like that was insulting.
Right.
But please don't do it again. The person was like, you know what? Maybe it's because I'm from somewhere else. Like, I didn't realize that what I said was insulting, but I won't say it again. I'm sorry. And I was like, what? Like, this person was just like, okay. And they kept hanging out and having a good time, and everyone was happy. And I was like, holy crap. You didn't start arguing with other people and making it weird, you know?
Yeah.
I was really happy to see that. And a different streamer, somebody said something like, you know, offhand, like just kind of like judgmental about sex workers, and I guess the streamer felt like really strongly the other way about it, and was like, hey, you don't disrespect them. And like, he just said exactly what he felt and told them that he wasn't comfortable with them saying stuff like that in his chat, and then chat agreed with him, and they moved on. And it made me feel like, wow, like I respect him, and that like this chat is going well. And I was like, that's like the power of like just voicing how you feel. Yeah. And I don't know, I think streaming has taught me a lot about voicing my actual feelings and opinions, because I had a lot of trouble with that before I started streaming as well. I wouldn't like tell people how I felt about stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Now I feel like I can, and I do, and I have started voicing my opinions and asking people when they've telling people when they've crossed a line, and it's made my life so much better.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, I feel mutually about that. It's almost like the streaming provides you more context to do these things that we don't get to do in real life very often.
Yeah, like, well, in real life, if someone made me uncomfortable, I would just be like, okay, how can I leave the room as quick as possible?
Fucking
Right?
dance
Like,
away, you know?
I would just like find my exits and like get out of there. In high school, my go-to, if someone was coming up to me and being like weird, I'd be like, oh, I have business to attend to, and I just leave. And I literally said, one time
I have business to attend to?
Yeah. That was my go-to response. Like, I remember this guy was talking to me that I was like, he was being really weird, and for the last few days he'd been like following me around and whistling at me, and then he found like a weird excuse to like come up to me and talk to me and a friend, and it was just really strange, and I was like, I have business to attend to, and I left, and I kept on using that for everything. And then one time a teacher caught me skipping, and that's what I said to her, and she was so offended that she just like okay, so here's what happened. There was like a staircase, and I was literally cornered in this instance because she was walking up the stairs. She was like, oh, hey, why weren't you in my class yesterday? And I'm not like an on-the-fly liar.
Yeah, of course.
That's the first thing I went to because I was uncomfortable. So I was like, oh, I was busy. I had business to attend to. I was, comm class, the class where they give you babies and teach you about careers.
I didn't have
those.
That's the
teacher. It was comm class that I skipped. So it was kind of like a big fuck you to her by accident.
Sure. Well, I bet you like as well, like the home ec teacher is always like the butt of every joke for fucking every school. It's like, what do you even do? Teach me how to cook souffle? I'm never gonna cook souffle, Mrs. Blah 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 or Mr.
Well, she wasn't even the home ec teacher. She just taught comm. Like, that's it.
Yeah, we didn't. We did home ec and comm. Like, I don't even know what that is. Like, we had home ec was the all encompassing like thing.
Comm is career and life management. So they give you the fake baby doll, and they would like be like, all right, here's how you're gonna apply for colleges, and we're gonna give you a fake job, and then you have to budget your money for this fake job or whatever.
I never had any of that. It's probably why I'm so fucked up, man.
I thought that was like a universal thing.
No,
yeah, so
I think it's just Canada.
I skipped that class.
So anyway, yeah. Sorry.
She cornered me in the staircase, and then I said that to her, and she just looked at me and just left. Like, she just left. I was like, oh, I didn't get punished for that at all. Like, she didn't even want to deal with me. Like, she was like, okay, you had business to attend to.
Well, I guess you had business. It'd be funny if she like referred to it like resentfully, like later in class. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm sorry, Poppy. I guess you had business to attend to. You couldn't be there today. Like calling you out in class. That's funny.
I don't think she liked me very much after that. I think she was like asking out of like genuinely thinking that I wasn't enough of a shithead to have skipped her class, and then realized in 2 instances like that, like I was, it was just so bad. Like, like just.
That's super funny.
Yeah,
oh man. But that's so. I guess like to like wrap this all up. This is so Twitch has been not only like a catalyst for you to better yourself, but it's also been like this really great self-reflection point, because now you have a point of reference to have value. So in those situations where like, somebody would be dismissive or whatever, it's you think of those people that are always there when you're streaming, and you're like, oh well, you know what, like it doesn't matter what you think, like I care about how well I'm doing, and it's validated by the people I'm surrounded with.
Yeah,
that's super cool. It's so crazy how the internet just like does that shit, in all honesty.
It is really crazy. The internet, I don't know. People are always like, the internet sucks. Everyone's being antisocial. Like, I've been more social in my whole life. Like, this internet was created for me.
Have you met any of your friends like online in person at all yet? Or is that something that you plan on doing? Do you plan on doing it? Like with TwitchCon, like if they ever do it in Europe or Canada or whatever?
Oh yeah, I'd like to, if I had $1 bill, I would like to go to TwitchCon America.
Just $1.
No, I need just $1 bill to get there. But yeah, if I had the money, I would go to TwitchCon American, North America. I don't know what they call it. And well, even Europe, if I had even that much more money to go. But
Europe would be dope.
Absolutely. I would, given the opportunity, I would love to see these people face to face.
It's I will tell you, as somebody who did that, like, and one of the things that Twitch did for me was allow me to be more emotional, because like growing up, it was something that like I felt like I wasn't allowed to do, so I wasn't allowed to be vulnerable or like show any emotion besides like anger or like for boy emotions is what I would call them. It's just like, what do you do with like all this like angst and sadness and stuff? It's like, well, I'm gonna listen to My Chemical Romance, play drums, and be upset at the world. You know, like that was like how I handled everything. And I mean, for years it was really hard for me to just like tears would well up, but they would never come out. So I was always like, well, I can't be vulnerable and stuff. And for the first time, like when I was at TwitchCon, and I'm setting the bar high, but I always try to think about like whenever I'm in a moment where I'm like I do the same thing to a certain extent. If I'm in a giant group of people, I do step back and I observe, because I'm trying to appreciate what the moment is, especially with like a bunch of people that I've been playing games with, streaming with, watching like for almost a couple years now. And we're all watching each other's podcasts to a certain extent, and it's like we know each other really well, but we've never been in the same room to talk about like what we care about, or just like be a person without the agenda being like, I'm playing this game, or I have a talk show and people are talking, like talking between each other, like, can I be involved with that? It's like, well, you are involved with it because you're listening and you're taking this stuff in. But meeting these people is like, I was so emotionally like full, I just started crying. And it was just like, I was just seeing everybody. I was like, it validated everything that I really like thought I was doing. I was like trying to surround myself with people that I felt were all me, living a different life, doing their own thing. Maybe the different experiences, like the variables of life, have done that, but I feel like I am bonded with these people because Twitch allows you to like window shop friends to a certain extent. It's like, are you a quality human being? Do I want to be your friend? I'm going to be in your stream. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I can't be your friend, and I accept that, but it's there's a bond there at some level, and you don't know what it is until like the conversation happens with them in real life. And it's just like, I mean, I remember standing around, and the peak for me was Say Hey Rocco, and I don't know if you know who that is. It's a cat puppet that streams on Twitch.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's as somebody who loves voices, I think you would sincerely appreciate them. But they had showed up to TwitchCon with the puppet and all the puppet, or not puppet, sorry, it's a real person. Say Hey Rocco. Rocco's a real person. Mom and Dad were with Rocco, and like just yelling Konky Dong, like Konky, like in that voice that she had. Or that Mom and Dad gave Rocco, was just like a fucking cherry on top of the emotional sundae, and I just started breaking down. I was just like, this is the most beautiful moment I have had in a long time, and it's all because you guys had like reached out and talked with me like while I was playing games, and there's like this weird barrier between you and the people that you interact with, because you see their name and you understand who they are, and some of these people you even watch. So like you have this emotional sort of attachment, but there's no physicalness to it. So it's almost like it's there, but it's not fully realized until you're in proximity of that person and you get to hug them and talk with them and be like, oh my God, like you're fucking real. You have like legs you walk around on. You're not just like waist up, you know, like it's a really awesome feeling. So I'm very excited to see how you handle that, because it'll be, I think for you, especially after the amount of the time that it'll take you to get there, depending on like what your goals and aspirations are for this stuff, it'll be extremely fulfilling. I think you'll be very happy.
Thanks. I'm excited. I know that I'll be able to do it sometime.
Yeah. That's awesome. Let me see if I have anything else here. Well, we kind of touch base on everything. So I guess this would be a good time to go into the questions you guys have been asking while we've been here. Thank you again for everybody who's been watching and hanging out with us and asking questions. The question queue, we will pull up in a second. If you have any questions that you want to ask now, feel free to just like pop them in the chat. Depending on how fast chat's moving, and I don't anticipate it being like super crazy, but if you'd like to get your question in there, you just type !Q and then your note. And of course, you haven't done this before, Poppy, so you will answer questions first, and then I will like share them second, and if you need time to think about them, just let me know and I'll go first, okay?
Okay.
All right, so our first question. Oh my god, I'm stupid.
Oh no.
I didn't do any of it.
So the queue
I
didn't
fucked
work?
up. The queue didn't work. I didn't start it.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
I have chat history up, so I'm just gonna go back. Poppy, would you mind helping me out since I fucked up?
Yeah, I can help you out.
All right. So our first question comes from Christina, and it's, what was your favorite childhood gaming memory?
Ooh, my favorite childhood gaming memory. Well, it's hard to pick a favorite. But I can tell you one that's funny now but wasn't funny at the time. Oh man, I have so many good memories, but I'll tell you one that might be interesting to hear about. So one time me and my friend were playing Paper Mario with a 1,000-Year Door, and we were playing it. My bed was kind of really weird, but
Yeah.
it was like metal. It was metal all the way around. It was like a couch metal. Like, you know how the back of a couch goes across? Like
Yeah,
the back,
yeah.
And then it has like arms. Yeah, it was like that, but it was metal instead. And then me and my friend were sitting on the metal bar at the end of the bed, and my little tube TV was there, and the GameCube was on top of it. And we were doing this thing that we called blackout. So I had all the lights off. It was nighttime, or at least it was dark in Canada. It might have been 4 p.m. You never know. It could have been winter and just dark at 4 p.m. But we were sitting on the metal bar, and went blackout. Essentially, every time the screen had to load, it would be black for a second. So we would fall back and go blackout, and we would fall back for a second, and then we'd laugh and giggle, and then we'd sit back up on the metal bar. But then at one point, we did that, and I kicked my legs out too far, and I kicked the memory card in the GameCube, and it fucking broke.
No!
And I remember I just cried and cried and cried, because it was my brother's memory card too. We lost all of our saves for like Super Mario Sunshine, Smash Bros. Melee, like
Oh my
everything.
god. Devastating.
Ooh, and the game we were just playing.
Yeah, that and you probably spent all time doing that. So
Yeah,
you spent the whole day doing it and it was just like fucked entirely.
Bawling.
Oh my god, yeah, I would be
It
crying.
was also like the reason why we were able to kick it is because it was one of those extra storage, like long
Big ones.
cards. Like, what a fuck you.
God damn.
It was a sad day for us that day.
I believe it.
Is that question for you too? Do you have to answer?
I will also answer this. Hold on really quick. I'm just making sure that I'm going through and getting all the cues, because chat is disappearing at the top and Christina was like the only one that had a question. And as everyone's typing, it's pushing up like the rest of it. But I believe I have a majority of the questions. Hold on one second.
If your question was missed by any chance, feel free to ask it again.
Mm-hmm.
We would love that. Whoa, we would love that.
Okay.
We would love it. Here, I'll tell another story about one time. So one time my friend slept over, and we made this like pillow fort. And I made the pillow fort and then invited her over and was like, look, I made a pillow fort. So I like put pillows all around the bed essentially, and then we in the morning I had an SNES, and SNES were like long, not really a thing. I think Wii was out already, but I was like, check this out, I found this game, Mickey Mouse's Magical Quest. And it was like early in the morning. My friend would wake me up. I would make her stay up, but then she would wake me up. We get like 3 hours of sleep because I'd be like, stay up till 3 a.m. and then she'd be like, get up at 6 a.m. and we would just, yeah. So then we'd both be really grumpy the next day, but we woke up and we were excited. And she had her dad's old cell phone, so she was like recording us, and we were playing Mickey Mouse's Magical Quest. And there's a part where he like shoots his hula skirt off at us, and we were like, oh my god, he's naked. And like I just remember we were like, she kept on like making these stupid videos on this phone and like pretending like people were calling her, and like it was just so dumb. But
Yeah.
it was one of the most fun mornings I think I've ever had. It was just so stupid. There's also like this outline that you can't really tell. Like they drew the wizard in Mickey Mouse kind of weird.
They
And
did?
it kind of looks like he's like a giant dick, like just there. Yeah, like it doesn't. It's just like you can't tell why. It's like either he has like a really floppy belly or like a strange knee.
Yeah. But it looks
So we were
like,
like,
there's
oh my
a
God.
penis in there.
Yeah, like that's a penis. And then we were, I don't know, it was just so dumb. It was, it was just a good time.
I think like my favorite gaming memory that I can think of like is reminiscent of like when my cousin is a cousin memory. So I don't even remember the context. I was just super excited to play Kirby because it was a Super Nintendo game I was completely unfamiliar with. And then I brought my Game Boy Color. I think I had brought my Game Boy Color with, or Jenny, my cousin, had also, before I get into this, I did copy all those questions. So Megals, I did get your question, and I believe I got the question history, so it's all in a note in front of me. Thank you guys for being so patient. I totally fucked that up. Because with the queue, the way it works is I have to start it as if it's like a poll, and I didn't do that. So I apologize, but I do have a lot of them. Connor as well.
And that's all right.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Okay, so video game memory. Video game memory. Stop. Okay, video game memory. I was at my cousin Jenny's house, and she had a cartridge, and I have this cartridge too. It's the Superboy cartridge, the one where you could put a Game Boy game inside the cartridge and play it on Super Nintendo. And I was like, wow, it was fucking nuts. I didn't even know you could do that, first of all. And then I stayed up till, I'm pretty sure it was like 3 a.m. Christina had already passed out. And I remember, like, we had to shut off the gaming console because it was, like, I think Jenny lied to me and said it was, like, too loud or whatever, but it really is dependent on the TV volume. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe I was being too loud. And then I watched the movie, Little Shop of Horrors like 4 times because it was on TNT, like on repeat, and I didn't know when the movie ended. I was like, wait, am I watching this again? And then it kept happening. I don't know why. It was weird. It was a weird memory. It was the first time I stayed up so late, and I remember falling asleep, like standing up and then waking up like all tucked in, so that was nice.
Aww, that's cute.
Next question. I guess this one's for me. I'll make it brief. I really like your mantra of "you are me living a different life." Did you come up with that yourself? Follow up: if you're me and I'm you, can we be friends? Yes, of course. And that mantra wasn't from me. I got into podcasts like a long time ago. Joe Rogan's like a huge inspiration for me in terms of like his podcast and how he handles conversations, and because of him, that's why I got into On It, like the company we're affiliated with for like fitness equipment and stuff. And On It is founded by Aubrey Marcus, who is a fucking inspirational dude, and very fucking articulate with how he describes like human emotion and behavior and feelings. And I never really understood those things before really like getting into his podcast. And so the golden rule is treat your neighbor like yourself or whatever, which is like that Bible quote. But the platinum rule is what he said, and it stuck with me very, very much so, was everybody is you living a different life. So the way I think about this is like, regardless of who we are, we started off as babies. We were all blank slate, and the environment and the variables of life and the people we interacted with had brought us to the point where we're at today. And so when you meet another person, they're literally you. It's just they had a whole different life experience. And so if I swapped shoes with you, Poppy, I'd be also in, Canada and passionate about video games and look up to my older brother. Like I would be the same person, even if like we were different, like in minor aspects, I guess. Or no. It's just I'm you. You're me. That's it. It's just a simple thing. Sorry, that was a long-winded conversation there. I don't have any mustache tips for you. My story about my mustache is I was at my family's like get together that we do every year for Christmas, and my mom has a lot of photos of family from the past, and there was just this badass fucking photo of my uncle who passed away, and my other uncles and my dad, and they all had mullets and mustaches, and I was like, dude, I gotta do this, for all of them. But I just needed to see if I could do it, and I had the jeans, man. It was fucking cool. So jeans help a lot. Not the pants, but like the ones that are inside your body that you're born with. Poppy, next question. One, say I was trying to help you find the demon statue that transfers stamina for hearts. One time I was trying to help you find the demon statue that transfers stamina for hearts in Breath of the Wild, and I just want to apologize for the horrible directions, and I hope you can forgive me.
You're fine. That was hilarious. It was good. I was frustrated for sure, but no, I'm not. I'm not like, remember that time? Like I got
always
over it,
thinking about it.
Later, I hope that you feel released from that grief that you feel from that moment. I think it was entertaining for everybody in a little bit of a way where you were like, no, wait, go left, go right, but I was getting it like way delayed, so I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it was it was funny. Don't worry. Don't lose sleep over it. I've never lost sleep over it. We're on good terms.
How funny would it be if that person, this person's literally been hanging on to this, but I don't know if it's been actually emotionally attached or whatever. So thank you for freeing that person of that guilt. Question, who will end the Iron Throne, and will Ant-Man expand inside Thanos' asshole?
Yes.
Yes to both of those questions. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Spoiler
alert, I don't either.
John Travolta.
Yeah. You heard it. Yeah.
And Ant-Man will crawl in Thanos' ass, and that is how that will end, yes.
You heard it here first, folks. Stream's done. No, I'm just kidding. Next question. As you evolve and review yourself through VODs, how do you overcome your weaknesses or remember to accentuate your strengths? It's a deep question.
Okay, so I
do you review your VODs?
Confidence. So for a long time, I wouldn't watch my VODs because I couldn't bear to deal with my shit. But in more recent times, I have been watching my VODs, and so I don't. Actually, I found that I actually really enjoy my VODs, which is kind of weird. Because I forget everything that I say. I don't remember a thing, and then I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this person? But I'm watching myself. It's so weird. So I'm usually really good about it. So I try, essentially, what I do, I don't know what what you do to watch your VODs, but I go off of Twitch tracker, and I look for the dips of views and then the increases of views. So I go based off of that. Okay, what was I talking about here that it increased views? What was I doing here that decreased views? And so it's just, I try not to take it super personally, because usually the things that decrease views is I suddenly got really tired or hungry, and I just really needed to take a break, and I was drawing it out for too long, or it's usually something like that. Or in some cases I notice that if I get a little too deep on chat, I'm really going into something, that sometimes would bring the mood down a bit. So it's just understanding this is your it's entertainment, right? So if you watch yourself and you're oh yeah, this isn't entertaining, just not taking that personally. It's not that you're not entertaining, it's just that you were talking about something that was people were vibing with. So try not to take it personally, because it is entertainment. And even though yes, it is you on the screen, that's not, you don't have to talk about that for it to be you on the screen, right? You can catch those weaknesses and then just be okay, that didn't work for me, but then look at the positives more than that, because that's what's more important. Because you're gonna have dips at any time. You're not gonna be able to be some fucking god tier streamer who just never has a moment where people are oh, I gotta go.
Right,
you know?
right.
So
Well, I agree. I definitely agree with that. I think like the correlation between your dips and everything is a good way to like troubleshoot maybe a lack of growth or whatever it is. But the hard part about it is like how long have you been doing it, and also like how acquainted with streaming you are, and you don't want to overanalyze how everything is. I think like the best step for this is always like watching streamers you enjoy and what do you like about them,
Yes.
and then building your own sort of way of going about it. And then Poppy's like method of going through it, I do the same thing. I do the same exact thing. I see those dips and I like, oh, I was just kind of quiet here. This was when I was about to end stream, or maybe I mentioned something like I mentioned I was going to be ending soon, so people are like, oh, okay, that gives me permission to leave now or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a mixed bag, but I agree with your methods.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I
how
think,
would you
really
remember
not to be too hard on yourself, mainly when it comes to streaming.
Right.
It's really easy to be like really weird and let fear hold you back, especially, and like the fear of criticism will really drive you insane. You gotta be okay with the fact that some people will decide that something's not for them.
Right.
And just be like, all right, you gotta trust yourself. I think it comes from inner confidence. So work on that. I think that's like the biggest thing in streaming is work on your belief in self and your confidence in yourself, and then that'll start to translate into all the other areas that you need in order to be a good streamer.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with just taking what you can, like you've explained, Poppy, like taking the social skills and learning to be yourself in front of the audience or people that you have, the friends you're hanging out with on Twitch, and using that in real life as well. Because like the self-confidence, you can't, I feel like, you know, being confident online and not being confident in the real world, rarely is that duality ever a thing unless it's like a character or something that people are putting on, I would say. Like it's easier to tap into like Dr. Disrespect does this to me. Like he personifies the super competitive 16-year-old that like we were all at some point. He's just a grown-ass man doing it. And he's like tapping into that extreme, you know, energy and feeling and all of that. So he can do that for a long period of time. But when you're trying to find yourself and you're not being a character, finding yourself also involves like validating the things you're feeling when you're doing Twitch, like personifying yourself with people in the real world and using those social skills to sort of see if like you can navigate into some friendships. And you said, Poppy, you had like 4 IRL friends now because of the tools you gained. And like that helps like having real life friends, like tangible people in your life, makes that go even higher because you're validating your value with people who enjoy their time with you. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Okay. Sometimes I talk for so long, I'm like, wait. Yeah, I'm done.
I totally understand.
The second part of this question is actually a really big one. It's accentuating your strengths. I don't know if like accentuating your strengths may be the right term. I understand why you would ask that question, but I really think it's like it comes from the confidence of knowing yourself. Like your strengths, like your personality, the things that you like to do, like be silly or talk in voices or whatever it is. Like these are things you would naturally do with friends or family, and by extension it would happen on stream. When you have the confidence in your behavior and not thinking about how it will affect people, unless of course it's like a negative behavior, in which case there should be like negative specific feedback coming in the form of like your friends telling you shouldn't do that, or Twitch telling you shouldn't do that, or whatever it is. I really feel like the confidence piece is really a personality thing. Like when you're confidently yourself, it'll translate into a lot of different things you're doing. It'll translate to school, your relationships, your ability to work with other people. Like it just sort of happens. And being overly confident and cocky is like entirely different. I'm talking about like I know I'm doing well, and I feel like the reward is this feel good feeling, and it's not just like I'm big hot shit right now, you know, dude. Like there's no ego behind it. That's the better way to say it, I guess.
Yeah. That's really good. I think confidence is really key. Like once you start learning that, it changes your whole life. But when it comes to like, for me, I already kind of knew the strengths that I'd have in terms of like streaming. But the thing I think that will make any stream like better is if you're focused on having as much fun as possible. You have fun, because if you're having fun, they're having fun. So like, just don't hold back on like, you know, that behavior that's like odd or whatever, that you don't know if that is, you know, your thing. Just, if you're having as much fun and talking about something that you're really passionate about, or doing something you're really passionate about, that's going to translate onto the screen. And that's your strength. Anything that you truly love and are passionate about will translate as charisma on the stream. And so finding your strengths is like doing like exercises on like, what do you like? What do you enjoy? Because that's your strength. The things that you enjoy the most fun that you could be having, the things that you're the most passionate about, that's what's going to translate. If you're like, oh, I'm going to play, you know, Pokemon Let's Go because it's a popular game right now and that's what people want to see, but you're not really into it, people are going to see it and they're not going to want to hang out because you're not doing something that's fun. Whereas if you're playing, I don't know, your favorite game or something that reminds you of your favorite game or something like that, then that's going to translate even if it is not the most popular game. So if you're constantly looking for opportunities to have fun and, you know, do yourself good service and have feel good moments for yourself, there's going to be lots of people that are going to feel that too.
Agreed. Next question. Thanks for your input, Poppy. Also, really cool that we have so many questions. Thank you guys for submitting them. Smooches. What keeps you so motivated, and how do you cook up ideas and inspiration for your channel? That one I know comes from Meckles. I'll let you answer this first.
What keeps me motivated? I don't get really demotivated for streaming. It's because it's like my life passion, you know? So it's like, you know, like that the idea of like no streaming, no work on streaming doesn't really happen like unless I'm like exhausted and I have burnout, or I'm having like bad anxiety or something like that. Those things, but that's like a self-care moment. Like I need to take a break. I need to take care of myself.
What? Wait, hold on. You're telling me you're like listening to your feelings to tell you to stop streaming and reevaluate what you should be doing for your health?
Yes.
Fuck yeah, dudes.
Super important. Don't do the, I need to grind kind of bullshit. Like if you're not able to have a good time on stream, and that's not going to translate on stream, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't necessarily try to stream. Sometimes I'll be like, oof, like I am feeling tired today or something, but I'm like, you know what, let's just give it a shot and see how it goes. And then I'm like, woo, streaming, my buddies are here and I'm ready to go. Yeah. But if you're noticing a trend of like every day you're exhausted, you don't want it, then, you know, maybe take a second to go, okay, what is it? If you find that it's not maybe burnout, maybe it's, you know, streaming isn't giving you that passion anymore, change it. Change it all. Change it all. Change your graphics, change your face. You don't need, change everything though. Because that'll make you feel like, oh, it's new again. Like it's fun. Go through what games you're playing. What is it that's not working for you that's making you demotivated? Is there someone in your chat that's bringing you down that you need to talk to and tell them to fuck off? I mean, maybe nicer than telling them to fuck off. Is there, you know, maybe games that you're playing that you don't actually like? Is there just something about it that's making you feel like your content sucks ass?
Yeah.
Fix it. You can fix it. Just take a day, spend your time going through it. Recently, I had a period where I was like, this doesn't feel right. And I went and I started going, okay, how am I going to do this? And now I feel like I feel rejuvenated.
Yeah, you got like the ebbs and flows like down. You're hitting that like, there's like a groove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grinding's for adults. So yeah, just that's how to stay motivated. If you're feeling unhappy about your stream, really think about it. Don't be afraid to get in the stream moments and just figure out what's not working. Listen to your feelings, your body. It's telling you stuff. Listen to it. It's got a message for you.
Yeah, the whole like body has a system called emotions that tell you like, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but when you're exhausted, there's like yawning and lethargy. I don't know how to say it. You just listen to your body. Just like if you're getting anxiety, these emotions are like extremely valid, and far too often, especially like on Twitch, it's like, you feel like giving up, don't. Like, that's not fucking advice. Like, that doesn't, if anybody saw that and took it seriously, they're going to have burnout. They're going to think that if they just need to stream more, and eventually like the success will happen. And I'm sure, have you seen like any of those videos where people have like recorded themselves explaining that they gave up streaming because they streamed for like 2 years to like 3 or 4 people?
Yep.
The question is like, you know, how did you go that long and not investigate like what you were doing and like how it was affecting yourself? And the truth, I really do think it's just the culture that's created around this is like, it's easy. All you have to do is like, if somebody's not working, like, or if you're not working, that means somebody is. Like, there's just this sort of like constant struggle, and being a part of the grind is like part of the mentality. But people don't want to see that. They don't want to see the struggle or the grind unless it involves like something that you're doing on stream that is going to reward somebody with an experience or something they haven't seen before. There needs to be like the human element is so fucking sensitive, and ignoring your feelings is like far too often the downfall for most people. You'll have the people who have bad days, like that happens. You will have bad days on stream. But if they're happening more times than not, it's like, well, really step away and like think about why you're feeling this way. Yeah,
definitely. Bad days are gonna happen, and your stream knows that. They know that you're human, so like let them know when you're having a bad day. But you gotta listen to yourself. And like I remember I was in a Twitch streamer Facebook group, and somebody was one of those people. He streamed for I think 2 years to 3 people, never was able to make it to affiliate. I guess not even 3 people, never was able to make it to affiliate. And he streamed 8 hours a day every day.
Wow.
I was like, bro, whoa, everything is wrong. How in the hell? He was still doing it. He hadn't even quit yet. And I wanted to just write him like a novel of like, hey, no. Like,
yeah. Well, you have to, like, this is, and I don't know if like you agree, this is sort of like, this is a very difficult thing to deal with because it's unwarranted advice. So like doing this, like, do you have rapport with this person? Like, have you conversated with this person? Like, have you been in their stream? Like, do they trust you? And like, you can't tell somebody they're bad. And this is like a feeling I feel like is just blanketed feeling. You can't tell somebody they're bad off the get-go because you don't know them, which honestly, it makes sense. Like if I walked into your fucking room and I was like, you suck at this, you'd be like, what the fuck, dude? Like you'd be upset about it because you're like, well, this is what I thought I was supposed to do. You know, like there's a ever evolving process, and it hurts to see these people that are like stuck in this the grind mentality, and nobody's telling them. And it's almost like that's why it's frustrating for me to see like partners give generic positive advice, because I understand, you know, where it comes from, and it can come from a good place, but you need to understand there's 500,000 plus people affiliated or more streaming on the platform looking for this as like a career success, or maybe they're just doing it leisurely and they don't care. But the amount of value you can get from this platform and the connections you can make, like that is feeling like you're missing out, and having people be like, well, just put your head down, you just got to try more, be better, like copy people's tweets, like all these bad negative behaviors and things start to come up because the people that are, I feel like, have a lot of weight and vision for the people that like you look to that should be giving this advice with a purple check mark or whatever, and they're not making the community better, and they're not being specific with how they should be, or they're not being specific with like what they'd like to do or what people are doing that it could help them. It's just generic. I just don't understand why. And I really wish that this whole like stream coaching thing that's coming out was like more of a positive thing, because it's frustrating. I can sense the frustration, because it's like, you know, when you see these people who are RTing and liking and commenting like, thank you, I needed this today, it's like, you know, I can tell you, hey, you look great today or whatever, and you're gonna be like, yeah, that makes me feel good, and then you'll forget in like 45 minutes. It's like that little endorphin bump, and then that's all you get. You know, you don't get anything else. I can't give you anything else, because if I do, what fucking, I don't even know. How do you feel about that, I guess?
I mean, I get like the advice, like there is advice on Twitter, you know, that people have seen that I've actually been like, oh shit, that's good advice. And there's other ones where I'm like, yeah, dude, it's important to take breaks on your stream. You know, like who's trying to not take breaks on their stream? Like, I don't know, like what, you're not gonna pee? Like, what, you have a jar down there? Like, what do you mean?
It's part of the stream perks, man. You get my diamond tier fucking Patreon. You get my under the cam pee drawer videos. Fucking I have no idea what I'm talking about. Ignore me. Omitted.
I think it's hard though, because in, you know, a 280 character tweet, it is hard to put like maybe they meant like, don't try to take shortcuts on breaks. Like, make sure you're taking, you know, at least 10 minutes every 2 hours or whatever, you know, something like that, which would be better advice for someone that's maybe like just trying to run and come back. Or like, hey, did you know that food is actually also energy? Don't forget to eat on your stream, you know?
Did you know food was energy? Fuck.
Yeah,
I remember being in your stream where you were like, I'm feeling kind of tired, but I think I'm hungry. And then you like got a sandwich and you're like, yeah, that's totally what was wrong. I have a sandwich, or I just ate or whatever. I'm good now. Like, everything's fine. Like, did you know food was energy, folks? Don't forget.
Yeah, food is energy. So, that's actually really good. So anyways, yeah, some people, I feel like, I don't know, the retweets for I mean, the tweets of advice for retweets is kind of like, okay. I mean, it's annoying, but like, especially the grindy stuff is not healthy. There's also stuff out there about like not sleeping. I know a lot of streamers who don't sleep, who don't fucking sleep, and instead they stream, and I'm against it.
Yeah.
I'm against it. Okay. I've heard there's even like motivational, like Casey Neistat only gets 6 hours of sleep a night. Not me. I get 8. I'm not going to use that 2 extra hours to work out or whatever the fuck. I'm sleeping for 8 hours, bitch. I don't care. I'm going to work really hard, but I'm going to sleep for 8 hours because I need that sleep. I'm going to sleep for that. I'm not cutting sleep. You should not cut out food. You should not cut out sleep. And you should not cut out money. Okay, the basic needs you need. Okay, money to, you know, get
food
and shit, and pay your bills. Yeah, you need that. Don't quit your job so that you can stream full time, so that you can be the next big guy. That's not realistic. I happen to be full time because I was in a very like nice circumstance that worked out for me. But some people have asked me about that. Like, what does it take to be full time? You have 30 viewers, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. I live in a very
no, dude. That's
area.
That's
yeah. Lots of help.
Yeah.
So, pay your bills, all right? Put your body first and this achievement second, because you're not, if you're tired, if you're hungry, if you're dying, you're not, you know, if you're about to move out of your house and you need to beg people for bits, it's not going to be good. Your stream is not going to grow. So, prioritize everything that you need to be healthy and happy, and that's going to make a better stream.
Thank you for reinforcing the fundamentals for being a human. It's like literally, like, I don't understand how that is still like this ambiguous thing people talk about. Like it's almost like compartmentalized in all these separate things. And it's like, just take care of yourself and the things that your body needs: food, sleep, water, and a place to live, or like have some sort of money coming in so that you can live your life in a comfortable manner, so to speak. But like that, it's almost blatantly ignored. I just don't get it.
It is. People think, like, I've had people ask me about it before, like, oh, like, I want to go full time. Like, should I just quit my job? Like, no.
No.
You will not suddenly be like, now that I quit my job and I'm streaming every single day, suddenly people have come to my stream and it's a good stream and they want to give me their big bucks. That's not how it works.
Their big bucks.
It isn't. People don't even make big bucks until like way later in the game. Like, you're just don't do it. All right. Just focus on yourself, your body, your mind, your spirit, everything. And then your stream, it will all happen together. It's a coexistence. It's you and the stream working together. The stream can't just willpower that away. It can't willpower your need to eat away by streaming. That doesn't happen. So focus on those things. Don't listen to those fucking grinders that are like, yeah, I just get 4 hours of sleep a night. And
That works for them.
Stream 12 hours
maybe.
a day. There's people like that who are like
Yeah.
partnered or whatever, and you're like, oh, they're partnered. They know what the fuck they're talking. They don't. Okay, they're not gonna do well later.
Well, yeah, because it's the same thing with. It's just, again, like when you're not executing highly on the fundamentals of operating, like food is energy, all that fun stuff. Like all of these are ingredients to help you run normally without streaming. So when you remove any of those components or they become misbalanced, then it's directly affecting everything else you're doing, including streaming. So again, thank you for reinforcing that shit. That's a super important perspective that like I feel like isn't shared very often.
Yeah, no problem.
Hell yeah.
It gets me. It gets at me when people are like, yeah, just like, because part of me is like, I want to do that. And then I'm like, I can't do that. I have body. I have a body I'm taking care of.
Body.
Yeah.
I have body. Body need things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. You just gotta, I don't know. I start talking like a caveman too when I'm like thinking about food or especially if I'm tired. Oh my God. Tired Steve is like the worst fucking version of myself. I'm like, I don't give a shit whatever is happening right now. Like I don't even know why I'm here. What are you saying to me? I don't care, you know?
Hungry me is like that. Hungry me is an asshole. I'm like ready to fight with everybody.
That's how Leia is, my fiance. She's like, at any point, if she like gets trivially mad about something so stupid, I'm just quiet, and what I'll do is like I'll be like, where do you want to go for food? And then the conversation changes. It's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, all right. I'm all agreeable now. I'm like, okay, cool. And then after eating, she'll be like, I'm sorry I was so mean this morning.
Zach does that with me too, because I'm the same. I'm the exact same. I'm like, all right, who wants to fight? I'm hungry.
Next question, and we do have some more because the poll is working now. Yes. Has anyone? This comes from Christina. Has anyone told you that you're a smash of Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Sierra Kusterbeck?
No one. Everyone always says Mary. I get that every day of my existence. But who's Kusterberry?
Kusterbeck. Kusterbeck.
Oh, here we go. Sierra Kusterbeck. Let me Google her images.
La Google.
No one's ever compared me to this woman, but I can kind of see it. Sometimes Google Images is not the best video. You can only really see it in video. Mm-hmm. But oh yeah, she's. You know what? I appreciate this one because she's not ugly. Sometimes I think that the people compare me to it are like really ugly, and then I'm like, what? Is that what I look like?
Dude, I get fucking pictures of Ned Flanders, all right? So that's stupid, sexy Flanders. That's my default. It's the mustache, man. People don't even like. I have that video. Have you seen that video of like my BRB screen?
The
humping one where like it's me and my friend James. Like people don't even believe me. That's me. I'm like, just shaved, man. I lose like 10 years.
I thought it was two of your friends. I didn't even know it was you.
That's me.
I didn't recognize you. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
That's that screen of two of his friends doing that.
Yeah.
I legit thought it was someone different.
No, it's me.
Weird. What the fuck? I'm so sorry. That must feel so weird for you.
No,
like,
I'm not upset about it.
Identity feeling.
No, not really. Because like I was trying to, at that point in my life, I was also trying to be somebody I was not.
Oh, okay. So
I was like
how long ago was that?
That was like 2 years ago, 2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
my pictures of me 2 years ago are. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at my old stream clips, my camera's like underneath my face, and you can like see it my nose. And there's also the lighting's bad. I use like a lamp, like a regular desk lamp, and it casts red on my face. Also, it bangs like up to my fucking scalp, and like really short black hair. So
you feel me?
People look at that. I'm like, I can't look at that version of me. That was a very confused version of me. I don't like looking at her. She needs to go.
Stop it. Get some help.
Stop. Get some help. The help is you.
The help is you.
But I still don't like looking at you.
It's yeah. I don't know. I really like that video. I made that video forever ago for a It was a smaller project. I woke up like New Year's Day and I saw this video, and the music that was playing in the background is entirely different, but the rhythm was hilarious. And I was like, oh, I think I just had like an epiphany. I woke up at like 1 p.m. because I drank a little bit. By drank a little bit, I mean I had 3 or 4 beers, which is 2 beers too much for me. And so I like woke up and I woke Leia up because I was laughing. I was cackling. Like anytime I was upset, and I want you guys to know that I do come back during the BRB screen still being up, and it just makes me so happy that I do enjoy watching it. Like it just reminds me of like my friendship with James, the person who's dancing with me, and it's like
Aww.
This energy thing that happens. I don't know. So just know that even though the BRB screen's up and you guys are talking in chat, I'm just sitting there smiling
Oh my God,
for a
that's
little
so
bit.
funny.
The next question, this came from Sampo. What is your motivation to stream? And I know we touched base on this, so if you wouldn't mind surmising that for us.
Yeah, so my motivation to stream, essentially, I mean, I have the whole aspect that's kind of like selfishly fulfilling my childhood self all the time, where I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna do exactly what I like to do as a kid. I like, part of me doesn't want the kid in me to die, you know, like I'm always like fostering it, you know, I foster that person. Yeah. But I want that for the other people watching too. Like I want the people watching to be like, kids. That sounds a lot different than I would have liked it to when I just said that out loud. But,
just a little bit, but we get what you're trying to say. Anybody without contest,
have that same fun feeling. I don't know if it necessarily makes them feel like a kid, but I want it to have that fun experience that I had. I want them to be like, you know, and usually they're at work or whatever, but I want that. And sometimes when I'm feeling like weird about my stream or something like that, and I remember the things that people say to me about my stream and how much they like it or whatever, then I'm like, yeah, people are looking forward to this. People like sit down at 11 and they go, Papi's gonna be on. And if I'm like at home having like a weird crisis, like then they miss out on that. So I try to be like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna be there for them. They're gonna have fun today. I'm gonna have fun today. We're gonna have fun today. It's gonna be fun. And that's legitimately like what I say to myself before I stream. Like, it's fun time. Fun time is coming. The fun truck is driving down the street. He's gonna pick you up.
I love this so much. I really do. Fun truck's coming, boys. Don't fucking freak out.
But yeah, that's the main thing. I don't really know what motivates other people to stream, but yeah, it's about fun. It's about childhood. It's getting good.
Yes, I'm in it. I found my motivation for streaming, just to briefly touch on this, is has changed over time, and it started out as like I think I'm kind of funny, but I don't know what I'm doing, so I stopped streaming entirely, and then I watched a lot of different people and decided to come back as what I thought would be primarily like a comedian streamer, like comedy streamer. But also wanted to do podcasts. And so the show just like, I thought it was just going to be like science orientated. And then I thoroughly, as you can tell here, I thoroughly enjoy talking with people. It just, especially when I feel like, you know, there's going to be some sort of mutual understanding or connection or common ground or experience. That like area helps me a great deal, because it also like validates my investment in getting to know these people, because it's like I don't know, it's just there's this initial expectation that I'm going to be having a great conversation, and then when it happens it's like extremely validating. Like everybody learns, I learn, everybody leaves with something that they didn't know before. And I remember growing up and not knowing a lot. I didn't know about nutrition. I didn't know about self-care. I didn't understand my own behaviors. I didn't understand talking with people and how that would be, and social cues and like all this other shit. And it's all, you know, it doesn't matter how old you are. It's never too late to learn these things. But like these conversations and experiences and talking with another person were, regardless of what I was doing, if it was work or school or whatever, whenever somebody took that time with me, it always left a huge impression on me and made me better in some way, shape, or form. So that's like been my driving motivating factor. That's why I spend so much time like talking with people in chat and creating, like, the Discord was like a huge thing for me, because I want to know what people are listening to and what articles people are reading. It's like all of this stuff is ingredients for like your life, and you sharing that experience with me is fucking amazing. Like you first of all, you're here talking with me, sharing, you know, the time with me, and I like, that's time that I just think about, you know, all the people that are here hanging out with me, and then I think about like when I was, you know, in your chat or in Etwert's chat or in Megal's chat, and like that reward of the just being there. Welcome in, everybody. Oh my god, hi.
Hi.
Welcome in. I have everything muted. I apologize, but we're at the question and answer portion of the cast. So if you guys have questions, please jump in. Okay, so Cape It, thank you so much. I hope your stream was very well. I'm sure it was. And she fucking is an amazing person. When she rated me last time I was doing the podcast, and she told everybody, which I assume she did this time, was that his notifications are muted. We're just gonna go in there and like join the conversation. I was like, oh my god, thank you so much.
That's great. Aw.
God, fucking, you're so great. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, so Sampo did that. Duck Norris asks, how do you fuck up the queue? You don't start it. RottenPapi, how do you come up with new ideas and keep stream fresh? Are you Etwert?
Oh boy. Oh man, you're a treat. Geez. I mean, I feel like it's a hard question because
it is, yeah.
Well, I just kind of revamped my stream.
So what did you do? Like, what was the decision behind doing that?
So yeah, I'll tell you what happened essentially, because I niched the fuck down. Guys. I ended the variety thing. I pulled out of variety. So I'll tell you why I did that, and then maybe hopefully that'll help you with some ideas, and I'll get into some little details here. But essentially, before niching down, I would always have like, I knew what games I wanted to play, but I would like have kind of identity crisis, or I'd be like, oh, but some of the viewers I had before probably like this game, or like because my viewers are kind of divided because I did variety. So it's like I had some viewers that like these types of games, I had some viewers that like these types of games, but I would always go back to retro, right? But so I like, you know, I'd be like, ooh, let's play a new release. So like I remember I played Pokemon Let's Go when it came out. I played Sekiro for a little bit right when it came out, and that you should not play games right when they come out, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not highly unrecommended thing. I waited like
some people can pull it off because they have really, really dedicated audiences, but if you're really back and forth between games, you're not usually doing new releases anyways. Like some people have built their audience off of doing lots of new releases. I did not. So I would lose people and stuff, and I would have like identity crises all the time, right? I'd be like, oh, maybe we should play this, maybe we should play this, oh, maybe this person asked me about this game, right? So I was feeling a little weird, and so I sat down and I did a little process here. So how do I explain what I did? I have like a bunch of notebooks. I could probably look at my notebook and remember. Okay, so here's what I had to do. So in order to discover what I wanted to niche down on, and like I feel like a lot of people obviously knew I would have picked retro games, but to me, I didn't know that yet. I was like, what if that's not my actual purpose? Right? Like maybe, because you doubt yourself. You're like, that's not, maybe my real purpose is going to be, I don't know, hiking streams, and I need to move.
Yes,
you know?
Yes.
So, the first thing I did is I wrote down everything I accomplished in my last year of streaming, because lots of you have probably been streaming for a while. So I wrote down everything I did in the last year, because in your head, you're like, I haven't accomplished anything. You know, maybe you're really hard on yourself. You're like, my viewers only went up by 5% or whatever the fuck you might have, right? So you might just be being really hard on yourself, or like, I doubled my views, but double wasn't enough. Something like that, right? So I wrote down everything I learned this year, not just streaming wise, but like in general, right? And a lot of what I learned has to do with streaming because I have been streaming full time for a year. So I wrote down everything and I looked back at that and I was like, wow, I learned a lot. The next step was taking everything that I learned and that whole year and letting it the fuck go. Going, all right, thank you that year. Thank you all that time of streaming. It's time for me to let that chapter go, that back past where I'm constantly referring back to it in my head of like, oh, what about back then when I played Dark Souls and like all those people enjoyed it, but I haven't played a Dark Souls or Souls game in like 6 months or more. You know, you're thinking back to like your old viewers, or like when I played Skyrim and people really enjoyed that. Maybe I should play something like Skyrim now when it's been, again, like 2 years since you even touched Skyrim. Why are you calling back to that? So you let go of those past good memories. Streaming, thank you for teaching me, but you're gonna look onward to a new chapter, all right? Then you're gonna write down everything that you want in your life. So your ideal life, essentially. What is that? What does that look like for you? So I wrote down my basic ideal life, everything I want from the world, right? Okay, so now I have a clear idea of what I want. Now, it's a process that I went through.
No, you're good.
I had a heyday with this. I was like, this is what I'm doing today.
Very rarely do people break down the process in a detailed format where like it's something that worked for you, and you sharing this is going to help somebody else. So thank you. Continue.
No problem. If anyone wants this in written form, just DM me. I will write it down for you, because audio form might be hard for you. So after that, I wrote down everything that I have an interest in. It's what is this exercise called? It's a specific name of this exercise. I wrote down, I think it's called Ikagi. Your Ikigai. It's like your reason of being, essentially. So you want to write down like everything that you enjoy. I think I have my notes somewhere. I just can't remember what fucking notebook I put it in. So I wrote down everything that's on this notebook. Pardon?
Unagi? No.
You're Unagi. I believe that's it. So I wrote down everything that I'm interested in, and then I kind of wrote like
Ikagi. Ikagi. Unagi's a fucking flavor like profile.
Oh, okay. It's
Unagi's eel. That's what it is. Yeah, a Japanese word ikagi is a Japanese concept that means a reason for being.
Yes, that's it. That's what I want.
You got
it. So I wrote down everything at least that I'm passionate about. So I wrote down like beauty. I like beauty. I like hiking. I like outdoors, plants. And so basically you look at everything and then you look at man, I'm explaining this really poorly. I think I have resources. I'm better at if I had something in front of me that can help me remember.
Okay. Well, let's skip the like nuances for it and just explain like I guess the process.
The basic idea is that I wrote down everything that I liked, and I came to the realization that retro streaming was actually my ultimate passion in streaming, and that would actually, because of the all little passions that I have and all these other things that I enjoy, that retro streaming aligned perfectly with my other enjoyments in life. So I
like nostalgia.
It worked with
voice acting.
I can't remember. You'll have to hit me up later if you're curious. You'll hit me up later. I'll look at my notes and I'll tell you exactly what I came to.
Sounds good.
It worked out with everything. So after doing all that, I was like, oh, that's actually what I wanted it to come to. Because in my head, for some reason, I was like, oh, it's going to be something that I actually don't like, which wouldn't, in that exercise, that's not, it would never come to a conclusion of something that you don't like.
Right.
Because you're trying to figure out your passion. But it came to retro streaming and I was like, that's perfect. So then I was like, okay, that's my stream. So I announced it and I changed a bunch of my stuff around, and that became my thing. And now I feel really good because now I'm able to cater everything around that. If someone suggests a game that doesn't really fit into that I'm not interested in playing, I can be like, I don't really play those games. Instead of being like, oh, I'm a variety streamer, I guess I should variety check that variety out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it gives me like reason, and then it also makes me realize like, oh, Now I'm part of the community. I'm part of a retro community. I'm not part of this weird variety, you know, business.
Yeah.
Right? But when it comes to another, because you were asking for fresh ideas, when it comes to coming up with something fun for the community, and like something that might be good, I always go to like maybe something that would be kind of weird or super short. So if there's a game that's really short, or a game that's really weird, how can you take that game, turn it into an event, and make chat be able to be like a part of it, you know? So I used to do kind of event streams a lot. Pardon?
No, I was saying that makes sense, like naming your characters after people in chat, or having them make decisions that are like integral to part of the game or something.
Yeah, or like having them like bet on certain things, or just like really get involved with it. And that's usually a good way. But something that like you want to try out, that you want to play, that you were excited to, but you think it's not going to maybe do well unless you do something weird with it. And then trying to find a way to like solve that problem. How do I make this something that people want to see? That usually would give me fun stream ideas, because it'd be like, okay, this is going to be something kind of wacky. How can I make this something that people will want to show up for? Yeah.
That makes sense. Hell yeah. Thank you for sharing your hot tips.
Yeah, no
be
problem.
sure to DM Poppy if you want to know more, so she can give you greater details if you like. Next question. We kind of already answered that. Poppy, in true Ramona Flowers fashion, what is your next hair color / style going to be?
This weekend I'm getting, so actually Saturday I'm getting my hair done. My hairdresser is this crazy artist. She's got the stuff. She's good, and so she's actually friends. She did my hair, and then we were like, we're friends now. So
that's
and then
cool.
I met her friends, and I was like, you're cool, and now we're friends, and that's because I'm a social butterfly. I'm a bloomin' butterfly, and I flew my wings. But yeah, I want to get some like hot pink action in there, and then I still want the purple. I think we'll do some purple, some hot pink, and then a little bit of blue tone in there. She already kind of has an idea of what we're gonna do. We're gonna see. It's basically it's gonna be those three colors combined. We'll see how it goes. I might show up and my hair will be wild on Sunday, or it won't be. But I do want some hot pink action. I do want it to still kind of be purple because I don't want too much pink. But yeah, that's what's up.
Sounds pretty. I agree, Kate.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
What is Rocco? Say hey, Rocco's question is, what is Twitch tracker? I'm little. How do I find that so I can get better?
Okay, I can give you the link right now. I have it bookmarked. Pro tip from the dad: bookmark all of everything. That was Skillshare that I just clicked on.
Skillshare also really useful.
Skillshare, yeah, I use that to learn how to use Photoshop and Premiere. Here's Twitch tracker. Bookmark it. Twitch tracker, essentially, so you'll be able to click right in there and then search your name, and then it'll give you all kinds of statistics. There's also Twinge, but Twinge has been down lately. So I don't, yeah, but Twitch tracker is really useful. If you're an anxious person, I get anxiety. Maybe don't check it like every single day and obsess over your numbers. If you're an obsessive person, if you find yourself going, oh my God, a lot over things like that, you should first notice yourself doing that. Okay. Now that I've implanted in your brain to notice that, try to notice that. Okay. And work on things to like avoid maybe obsessing, and realize, how to not take things really harshly and go, okay, this was at 50 people. I need to get back at 50 people. You know what the fuck, you know what I'm talking about here? Yeah. Just try not to obsess over it. Look at it, understand the criticism that you can take and learn from it, but don't check it every single day and refresh and do all that kind of weird shit, because that won't help you.
Makes sense. No, I mean, recognizing a behavior that's negatively impacting you is like honestly one of the biggest things that I grappled with, and it was a big part of like finding the confidence piece, because then you can identify like what's wrong and why. Like, it's not like you can keep track of all these things all the time, and if you've got a high expectation of yourself, you're also most likely beating yourself up on a regular basis. But the whole like, you know, recognizing the negative behavior of revisiting the page every time and like grilling yourself over this menial thing that like you're not gonna really know until you spend the time experimenting and seeing like over a long span of time what the data looks like, and then you can move and make your motivation or make your move to the direction that you feel would be different or best or whatever.
Yeah, I actually got really good advice from Zach because I was obsessing over numbers and being like, I was basically like, I'm plummeting numbers. I was like being really weird, and he was like, no, you're not. He like looked at the graph and was like, hey, this is your trend. You're just gonna go up. Like, I don't understand. And I was like, no.
No.
So, but he said, like, don't look at your numbers like that, because if it's essentially you're starting a startup. And so people who start startups don't look at their numbers. Usually they have another company who's looking at their numbers for them. And then if they're not good enough, they just get canceled. So, but yeah, you're gonna feel really weird. And you're also noting, if you're thinking about yourself as a company and a startup, a lot of startups don't even make money until like a few years into it. So if you're thinking of it that way and you're comparing yourself to one of the fucking Twitch stars that showed up here and got partnered in the first like 3 months of being on the platform, you're not going to be happy, okay? Like that's godlike numbers. I know we all want to be a godlike streamer who just shows up on Twitch and takes over and is like, wow, everyone loves me. But that's just unrealistic expectations to set yourself. And I am, maybe it's a Leo thing. Maybe I'm always like, I'm the sun. I'm gonna come in and everyone's gonna be like wowed by me, but that's just not realistic for yourself to be holding up to these standards. You need to look at it and go, okay, how can I be better and improve myself, instead of going, well, that means I suck and 0%, now I'm terrible, maybe I shouldn't be doing this at all, yuck yuck yuck. Try to be like, okay, I didn't do well this time, I'm gonna be better next time. Or maybe realizing that it was Good Friday or something like that and people were
available
at church. I don't know. Your demographic was busy that day.
Or spring break. Like, people go outside and shit. Like, when summer comes around after being, especially in the Midwest, it's like anybody who is a Chicagoan is like not in my chat because, hey, we can go outside now. That's nice. You know, like you gotta approach everything with a little bit of empathy and forgiveness. And it's almost forgotten.
And you gotta forgive yourself too. If you have a bad stream, like, or a bad month of stream, you gotta just be like, all right, I had a bad month. You can't always be beating the shit out of yourself for not being able to achieve something. And I think that's kind of ingrained in us in a way of the way that like society like teaches us. You know, if you don't get a good grade, it's like, well, you're dumb and you didn't study hard enough, you idiot. You know, in school. So you kind of look at your stats and it's kind of like getting a grade, and you're like, I got a bad grade. I'm done.
I must be.
No, you can do better. You can keep learning.
Well, it's really hard to like rework those, because again, the I feel like the default mental pathway conversation always comes up because it's easy to make the assumption from a past negative experience, and so like rewiring your thought process around those things is really difficult, especially with like no outside input. So, like, these things, they sound really basic to us, but like talking about these things and like this discussion we're having, thank you for reinforcing this stuff, because it's like it's talked about a lot and it's very rarely extrapolated on. Is that the right word? I don't know. Fuck. Extrapolated?
That sounds right to me.
Maybe. Whatever. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
We just did fucking 3 hours.
Holy
Poppy.
Shit.
I told you, it flies by.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here. Poppy, before we finish up, do you have any questions for me?
I feel like I asked you all the questions I have for you.
Cool.
Let me think. I actually don't.
Hell yeah.
I feel bad. It's not that
No, don't feel bad.
I feel like we covered a lot of ground.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, usually if we were doing like the question and answer portion and it was just you answering, maybe you would have something, but like, dude, no worries. You're good. Thank you so much. Really quick, let me just thank everybody while you're all here. Starting from the top, Poppy, thank you for hosting the channel. Meggles, thanks for hosting the channel. Meggles, thank you for gifting a sub to Poppy. Wow, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yo, Empy, thank you for the follow. Miami Bros, thank you for the host. Etwert, thank you for the host. Etwert, thank you for gifting a sub to Say Hey Rocco. Beer Good, thank you for gifting a sub to Cornelius. Legion, Uptight Joker, Dino Oblivion, thank you so much for the follows. Kate, thank you so much for the raid. Beer Good, thank you for the 200 bits. Y'all are fucking awesome, and I appreciate ya. Poppy, where can we find you?
I'm twitch.tv/RottenPapi. I'm also Twitter/RottenPapi. I'm also on Instagram @/RottenPapi. And you might be able to YouTube my name and see if one of my videos comes up instead of Twitch fails. Or a bunch of my re-uploaded clips by one guy who likes to re-upload my clips on YouTube for like 5 viewers. I don't know, it's a weird thing that he does, but
strange.
Yeah, if you find me on YouTube, I have like 2 videos. They're not that great, but you could do it anyways.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, that's awesome. When do you stream usually? Like, do you want? What's your schedule?
It's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 11 CST. So that's Central Standard Time. Till 7. So usually 8 hours. We do every day. Well, not every day. Every for 4 days with a Wednesday break in between.
There you go.
So tomorrow, I'll be live tomorrow in the morning. So maybe you have work and you work your office job and you're like, oh, I'm so bored. Maybe you could sneak a Twitch in there. I'm not condoning that behavior, but I am. Anyways.
Thank you, lurkers who are here right now lurking. For all you guys who have been here, for the bits and the subs, part of the sponsorship, or not sponsorship, part of the things we do on Twitch is with charity. Every time we get a Twitch payout, half of that money goes towards maps. Because of your fucking awesome contributions, we hit 50% of our $5,000 goal. I am very excited about that. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar, oh, I'm muted? Wait, no. Dan, don't freak me out. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar with maps, boop. The Multidisciplinary Association of Psychedelic Studies is in phase 3 trials. The way PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, works is the trauma is stuck in the short-term memory part of the brain, and that's what causes that person to relive those terrible experiences they had in the past over and over and over again. And MAPS, over their many years of research, has discovered that MDMA opens up a lot of neural pathways of the brain and can allow people to think differently. And when you do that in a therapeutic environment, it actually allows them to move the memory that's stuck in the short-term part of the brain to the long-term part of the brain, which then they are cured of their PTSD. And when I say cured, they are 100% cured. There is no relapses or anything like that based on their studies. At the end of this year, hopefully they're doing FDA approval, and man, it's an awesome treatment that could be prescribed for a lot of really cool people. And then we move on to the next psychedelic that could benefit humanity. So if you have any questions, the link's there. Please check it out. Yeah, and that's it. Poppy, thank you so much for, again, sharing your experiences, what you've gone through, the tips. Like, I just appreciate the fact that you spent this amount of time with me and also shared so much with not only me, but everybody here. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I'm so happy to share. Thank you so much for having me and allowing me to share a place to speak.
This is the part where I let you choose who we're going to raid. So where would you like to go?
Oh, shit.
And while you're looking, I'll keep up with chat.
Oh,
give me the map, Scott. Oh my God, Duck Norris. I love that. I used to say that all the time. Only 3 of my friends know what that's from. I still say that one quote from Tracy. Whenever somebody says something I don't understand, my default reaction is, I don't know what the fuck you just said, little kid, but you spoke to my heart, and I love you for that. Like, I love that quote. It's so good.
Do you want me to DM it to you?
You can post it in chat. That's fine.
Okay. This streamer I met recently, and he's great. He's really funny. He did stand-up comedy. He's playing Mario Galaxy right now, and he's actually like a super great guy. And he came to my stream and met me by coming to me and being like, I love your stream. And I was like, wait, You're funnier than I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I can't rate him because he streams too late. So.
Well, this is perfect.
So now
we can do this.
You're gonna read him for me.
Poppy, thank you so much again. All right, guys, we're gonna raid Mr. Scoot. I'm definitely gonna hang out and check him out because I don't know who he is, so I'm gonna be following him and hanging out as I'm winding down for my night.
Disappointed.
You guys were asking where Lee is. He was at last week. He was at Star Wars Celebration all week, and he's coming back for another Science Fuel. Well, it's gonna be a catch-up episode with Lee. He's gonna be physically here. We're gonna hug. It's gonna be amazing. And then Friday we got Bobo Chet coming on, so I hope you guys come by for that. The raid message, Poppy, do you want a raid message or do you want me to do it?
No, do your raid message.
Okay. Ba 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 ba. Boop.
I just want to say it was nice meeting all the people in chat. I was reading your messages sometimes in between. You guys are saying nice things about me in there, and I just want to say thanks. And I look forward to catching you later on the RottenPapi show. I'm gonna chance to talk to you a little bit.
I like the uncomfortable like old lady that you turn into when you're like talking about yourself. It's pretty awesome. All right, guys, this is the raid message. I don't like to spam my own emotes because I don't want to disclude anybody. Your time is valuable and I appreciate the fuck out of it. So there's a lot of hunks in here. That's our raid message.
Ooh,